Where am I looking? Here, right? Yeah, okay. Been a while. What's going on, guys? Kulprit here. Welcome to episode 11. Had to look so bad. Of the Friendly Fire podcast. We're joined once again by our buddy DarthVeda, who's on the previous episode, but it doesn't feel like it because it was several weeks ago. And joined by first-timer, NotableAardvark. I shouldn't have to introduce you if you're that notable, frankly. And also,
I'm not
always,
really notable. Just a name.
Always joined by my buddy, Mr. the Puppy. We really just kind of do this because our wives are sick of hearing us talk about things, so we like to talk to each other.
Yes.
Gonna get a little business out of the way, Puppy. I'm assuming you saw this. DarthVeda, you can kind of zone out for a minute. Just wanted to announce a new design, new logo. Been working on it for a while. We were talking about that on the pre-show if you just joined in. Went back and forth a little bit, looking for feedback. Always looking for feedback. Any way you think we can improve it. You know, no porn, please. You know, nothing silly. If you notice, there is the big lonely box there of sponsors. I want to talk about that. Sponsors is probably the wrong word for that. Looking kind of for some partnerships with people, communities, websites. You know, for instance, if Pun, who's in the chat, next time he's on, throw some Walking Dead Army stuff up there. Maybe some DRMB. Just kind of work with people, help integrate a little bit with the community if we can in our small little way. Things like Level BF if we have Brett on again, that kind of stuff. But if you guys have ideas of communities we might want to reach out to, hit us up in the comments if this is on YouTube, wherever, and we'll kind of look for those. I figured you guys would be able to give us some direction on that. Third and last, we finally are on iTunes. Let me actually get this link. I know some of you guys in the chat are going to friggin' give me an earful, but a lot of people are asking for it, so I understand some people don't do iTunes. If you have another service you want me to try to get up onto, it's not a lot of work, I'll try to do it. But I'm going to put the link in the chat now. I'm going to ask a favor, and on YouTube it'll be in the description. If you have a minute, which we know you do because you're wasting your time here tonight, click on that. Just give us a quick rating. The reason is Friendly Fire is pretty popular. So just a couple reviews, maybe a quick word. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just to get us off zero so we look like we're an active podcast. All the audio casts are up there right now, 10 of them, whatever they are, including the Drunken Post Show. And maybe we might have 2 of those, actually. I don't even know. They're all up there now. So if you're like me and you listen to podcasts on your commute, because that's what I do. I can't listen to I can't watch long form videos or anything. I don't sit long enough, so I listen to them in the car. So there you go. Took forever. Oh, it was a pain in the ass. iTunes sucks, but that's what most of you guys. It does. I'm sorry. As for that kind of stuff, it's so the tags and stuff. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. But I do use it. It's what most of you guys use, and I had a lot of requests for that. So there you go. You're on iTunes. If there's any other services, I know there's some of them out there. I don't know them off the top of my head. Post in the comments. I'll look into it. I'll see what I can do for you. All right, so that's the housekeeping. Shiny new covers, some a new look, and hopefully a little bit more official. We got a new logo. Maybe we'll throw that on some merch or something, and I'll wear one and nobody else will. But we are going to get right into. Well, actually, no. We usually start off with what we're playing. That's kind of the way for them to find out what me and Puppy have been up to, and then you guys who are kind of newer, Aardvark, you'll lead off to kind of get an idea what kind of gamer you are. I have a feeling I know what you've been playing, but why don't you tell everybody what you've been playing over the last, say, week or two, and kind of what you're focusing on. Go right ahead, and Darth, you'll be next. Well,
Still Battlefield because I have commitments there. We're in the middle of a Conquest season, so I have to play that. I'm playing a bit of Warframe, actually. It came out, I think, over a week ago. On the Xbox One, and I didn't have any plans to play it, but picked it up and really started to enjoy it. And of course Destiny, because it's amazing. And that's it.
Destiny, that's what I thought you were gonna say. Yeah, it's kind of you're here to kind of be wingman the puppy tonight, I think. That's fair though. I would be if I had it, I'd be playing it too. So I'm not gonna get on you for that. You sound a little begrudging on the Battlefield, but if you're playing competitive, I think you're allowed. Darth, what about you? What have you been playing, at least since the last episode, or, last 2 weeks or so?
The last couple of weeks, especially this week, obviously Battlefield, because they did the Final Stand DLC pre-release on the CTE. Last week they were hinting that we were going to get a surprise on Tuesday, and as we figured out that all the big YouTubers were out at LA, it kind of became obvious what the surprise was going to be. So I've mostly been playing Final Stand and just some various iPad junky games.
Yeah, I actually didn't even see that tease until I saw your tweets back. Must have been a slow, or a bit, they didn't get on much. I was like, wait, what is going on? I saw your predictions of what you thought were going to happen. I'm like, what? I was shocked. We'll get into it. I was shocked that they did what they did, but Puppy, what about you, sir? Do we have to hear another Destiny love saga?
Yes, I've been playing.
We'll save it for later, but
I've been playing Destiny. It's been so awesome. You guys are missing out so much. I've also
you've
played.
been dying to throw that at us.
Hell yeah. Excuse me. I've also been playing. Let's see what I played Battlefield, obviously, because always, forever an addict. And then there was a free game that came out for Xbox Live Gold members. Excuse me, called Super Time Force Ultra, which is just amazing. It's a little side-scroller game that, if you can get your hands on, I know it's available on PC too, and if you're just looking for a goofy little game to mess around with, it's totally worth it.
I'm writing it down.
Do it. It's fun.
So Matt, nobody's been mainstream gaming. Well, Destiny. I'm saying. I'm hearing a lot of indie games and iPhone games or whatever you're
Destiny's mainstream.
No, I mean, yeah, obviously that one. But you guys are skirting over it because we're talking about it later. Me, I'm trying to think if there's anything other than Battlefield CTE. That's really been it. Oh, Counter-Strike Go, actually. I was playing that a little bit, probably last week, if you call it playing it. I was playing, and you guys are talking about my Twitter. I was playing the the commodity market more than I was actually playing the game. I was just seeing what these crates are about, which is the biggest scam in the world.
They've
had that going since the crates in Team Fortress 2. That's they're genius.
It's the same. It's Dota. They are. It's brilliant. But I don't know. I'm the type of guy that doesn't like to gamble unless my odds are in my favor. So it's really hard for me to do that stuff. But I was playing CS:GO. Yes, look at chat. It's like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird to play a game that's so familiar yet so new to me. Like because I played a lot of CS:GO back in the day. So it's the same game, literally the same maps in a lot of cases, but yet it's a lot of new stuff, and so it's fun. It's kind of nostalgic. I am terrible at it, but it's part of the fun. I mean, I actually enjoy the whole. We should have made this a topic. I don't know if you guys play, but the whole reticle is down here, but you're shooting here. It's just so foreign to me right now, but that's fun. It's fun to learn new things. It's trying to learn the patterns of shooting and tap and burst. The idea is hopefully it'll make me an all-around better player, but we'll see what happens. It's a game. I'm like, yeah, I'll play that casually. It's the worst game ever invented to play casually.
Never play it. There's no point playing it.
Yeah, exactly. There's like no point of it. It's like League. It's like you can't play League casually. These are the games that I play casually.
Sure. Well, if you want to play ARAM, maybe.
Yeah, but even that, it's like mechanics are so different than other things. It's just retarded. But I'm just basically what I'm saying. I'm not getting invested in it. I'm not gonna rage about it. It's just kind of like that game is so brutal. You die so quickly, and you just get manhandled. But there's a sense of fairness. Like you're like, I know why I died there, and it's so different from Battlefield, where you're just like you feel every death is cheated. You're just like, why? At least in CS, you're like, oh, okay, wow, that guy's good, okay, or he's hacking, which even then you could kind of explain it away. Bots don't hack.
He's a good hacker.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'm not good enough to know. Like everybody is hacking to me right now. So that was I'm gonna try to get into that a little bit in the fall, but I'm not gonna dump a lot of time. But it's fun. I just want to see what all the hoopla is about and. $20 in crates or something, or keys, I should say, just to see. I was just like, I had it in my Steam wallet. I was like, let's just see what this is about. I got like 4 of the same weapon. I was like, wow, this is so bad. But so yeah, and then Battlefield CTE, I've actually, and it's all because of the maps. I mean, they got me in there, so good on them for that. That's probably why they're holding the patch back. But we'll get into that. So let's talk about Battlefield 4's Final Stand. Just to clarify, Aardvark and Puppy, you obviously haven't had any. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just kind of laying the table out. You guys you'll get it back on Destiny. Don't worry. You haven't played it. You're going to be just speaking. There's tons of content out there for you guys to base your opinions off. And frankly, I've played it, and you might have a better idea than I do. Puppy, I figured you're going to have a lot to talk about, even if you haven't played it. 2142 prequel. Obviously, is it a Battlefront demo? These types of things. I think it's a little bit of both, and I'm okay with that. I just got my computer's acting weird. What do you think, Puppy? I'm going to let you lead this one off since you've been trumpeting the 2142 since I met you.
Oh my goodness! All right,
what do you think about the prequels thing and how it leads in?
I'm okay with the prequel. Like I've noticed, with Battlefield as a whole, every war that they've covered, because that's typically what they go after, with the exception of the bad companies. They had they already had a war that was out there that it actually happened, so there was no real need for laying down extensive amounts of lore or anything like that. It was more, the Vietnam War was a thing, and World War II was a thing, you know. So like they didn't have a lot of inventing they had to do until they went and did 2142. And then they started doing Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and they had to kind of start making stuff up.
Right.
And to me, I think it's actually quite nice. Like when I first started watching that little preview that they put up on Twitter, I was like, please tell me that they just remastered 2142 like they did for Battlefield Vietnam back in Bad Company 2, and like that's what we're gonna get. You know, like I was like, please, please. Obviously, that's not what we're gonna get, but just the fact that they're kind of giving you a nod in that general direction, you know, going, yes, you know, this is kind of a prequel. I'm super excited about that because it kind of ties the lore together a little bit, and at the same time, it's still the same old Battlefield. And if you don't care about the lore, then you don't have to care. It's okay, you know. And they did it in such a way to where Battlefield 4 to me is not going to become you know, what Battlefield 2142 was with the lasers shooting everywhere and stuff like that. You know, it's not going to change the game that much. So I think, you know, like the core fans that like more of a modern shooter will still have some appeal there if they're still interested in Battlefield at this point.
Now, was there before you get too far, before I forget, when you talked about the wars, was there any notion of what we now know as Battlefield 4, that conflict in 2142? Since you're talking about the lore.
Not that I can recall. Now, the biggest thing that I can recall, and it actually kind of made sense with the title of Final Stand, is that it says very specifically in Battlefield 2142 that America is no longer a thing. We got wiped out. We lost the war.
See, I've seen a different video where it was some Ice Age came on.
Yeah, well, the Ice Age is kind
of... And the only
like,
suitable land is now, like, mid-Asia or something like that?
Yeah.
We're nerding out here. We're going deep down the rabbit hole.
Everyone's kind of condensed, but, like, I bought the strategy guide, and this was, like, explaining the strategy guide. Yes, it was the official
Did you get any strategies out of that strategy guide?
No, because it was all like, you should have your team line up at this objective, and I'm like, that never happens. Yeah, so like there wasn't a whole lot useful. There was some useful stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. It's a whole nother topic. But they had lore in there too, and part of the lore was like, yes, there's a whole nother Ice Age that's happened, and as this Ice Age is kind of taking over everything, you know, like conflict starts arising because food starts becoming short, and you're like, well, we want food, you have food, so we're going to kill you and take your food, sort of thing.
I should look and see if I can find a video.
And in this process, that's when U.S. gets annihilated, and it basically becomes EU versus like
the PAC, PAC.
Yeah, PAC, which is like this Chinese-Russian conglomerate type thing. And I mean that's the lore behind it, and like the way that Final Stand's kind of approaching it, it looks like it's heading in that direction. You know, we got very cold environments, not all cold, obviously.
Well, it's northern Russia, I think, is what their setting is.
But then, I mean, you know, we're seeing the prototypes for the stuff that will eventually become what we know as the hover tanks and whatnot that are in 2142.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, there's holes in the lore. They're obviously scrambling. They're trying to make a lore.
Yeah, it's always harder. Yeah. It's always harder to make a lore after the fact.
But I kind of like, and I think Darth, we were talking about this, but like, I don't like how it fits into Battlefield 4. But I like the fact that they're making the effort to have some kind of story, but then you're like, there's no hint of this in the campaign. There's no hint, like, this is just this random thing. So when you get to my second point, Puppy, if I cut you off, I'm making a point there. You can finish. You were going and I cut you off. But is this, do you think this is more them, like, making a tip of the hat to 2142, who everybody's wanting? I wouldn't count myself in that, but a lot of people want that remade as a whole game. So they can't do that, and I'll get into that, why I think that is later. But this is like, you know, kind of, they're just like saying, here's your fix. Or do you think this is more of a demo, a lead-in for Battlefront? Or both? Because I think it's both. But just, Aardvark, why don't you tell me what you think there?
It looks cool, I gotta say. I mean, I'm at the point now with Battlefield that it's kind of done in a way. But seeing all the OP stuff, like the railgun and all that thing, it looks really awesome. It looks like it might be a bit of fun. I really do like the hat tip too. I'm not even gonna care, to be honest.
Yeah, at this
point, I like
the
hat tip to all the 2142 stuff, because of course in Battlefield 3 you had the little drone in Endgame, was it? Yeah. And now
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you had that Easter egg, and now you have all the obviously the prototypes, the hover tanks, and the mechs. It looks really cool.
That Easter egg was so out of place though that it was ridiculous. Like if you actually went and found it, you were just like, what? What is this?
Yeah, it's just a little thing behind a rock, just hovering. Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw an image of it. I couldn't care less about Easter eggs myself. But.
Yeah. But yeah,
Easter
I
eggs
hope
are a
it does
big
lead
thing.
to 2143 because that would be awesome, to be honest.
Yes, please.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Darth? What, do you think it's more a homage, or do you think it's more of a marketing lead-in?
Oh,
Or
well,
for
it could be
someone
any
who-
number of things, honestly, but I think it may also just be a feeler for, hey, how does the Battlefield community feel about future tech? Is this a thing we could do with another Battlefield title, after Battlefront? Is this going to be where the industry goes after the whole? So we had the whole World War II thing, and that sort of finally fell off, and then we had the Modern Warfare thing, and that seems to be tapering off with everybody going off into whatever future they want to create. And it could be that Battlefield or DICE and EA are trying to figure out, where do we take this franchise next, and putting out the feelers there for that again. And they do have, franchise leads into that with 2142. I'm not terribly pleased about that direction, but we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've talked about it. Now, you disclosed on the last podcast in the industry you work, correct? I'm not breaking any glass walls here.
No.
So I'll ask you this, since we're kind of tiptoeing around it. I've had discussions on Twitter. It could have been with some of you guys. I don't quite remember because you guys know I go off on Twitter and I answer 1,000, retweets or whatever references. Do you think they can make a 2143? Because I don't think they can. I think contractually they are, non-compete to Battlefront. They're not going to give you that Battlefront franchise, that Battlefront license, and say, yes, make us Battlefront, and at the same time make 2143 its competitor. So I don't think they can do that. And I think that's why we haven't seen it. I think that's what this is. This is like, hey, guys, we can't make that, but here's us acknowledging that you like that game and placating you, I guess, a little bit. But you, with your kind of inside kind of view, what do you think on that a little bit?
So with the way that that used to be LucasArts, it's now just Disney, I guess.
Yeah,
The way that they handled the Star Wars contract stuff is there was always either a series of games or per game. And generally EA has had a pretty good working relationship with the Star Wars franchise, so I don't know if they... It would really have to be in the details that we don't know that says, hey, you can't make a game after this. Although it's probably not in their best interest to immediately follow one sci-fi game with another unless, for whatever reason the money says, yes, we should definitely do this.
Right. I mean, it would make sense for development. They're basically making assets for one. They could kind of just reskin them and use them over here, sure. But
that they definitely wouldn't be able to do.
well,
Almost
you could
certainly.
never prove that they couldn't. But yeah, I don't see it in chat saying like, it's Battlefield 5's, after it's kind of, so we're not going to get it anytime soon. And same could be said about Bad Company 3. Obviously, a lot of people have gone crazy about that. I think there's reasons why we're not getting either of those. But we're getting a little off topic here, so I just wanted to ask you with your different perspective. Go ahead, Puppy.
I don't know that that's entirely off topic. I mean, we can run and shoot off in a whole different direction with it. I will kind of agree, with both of y'all's sentiment, as much as it pains me, and you guys know it does. It pains my soul. My soul has got a dark spot on it from this. But I kind of agree. It's not necessarily, I don't think it's from a non-compete perspective. I think it's more, when you look at it from a business standpoint of, Star Wars is going to sell because Star Wars.
Yeah.
And 2142, and in my opinion, back when that game first came out, it was cool because it was Star Wars.
Yeah,
but multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Battlefront and Battlefront 2, it kind of had multiplayer, but it was like you and two other buddies or something like that. I think it capped out at 4 people. And the rest was just bots running around. So to me, 2142 was the first Star Wars-esque future-y, attempt at multiplayer. And so that's kind of why I enjoyed it. And I think maybe that would be a good means to kind of skip out on doing it and just pursue the Battlefront. And again, because you can slap the Star Wars title on it and a few notable, machines in there, you don't have as much creative thinking to pull because a lot of the lore is already laid down there.
So there was a really great mod that was Star Wars for Battlefield 1942, and I don't know whatever became of it or if it got lawyered, but it was actually really quality, and that's one of the things I kind of miss about 1942 in general is just how many different mods and ideas got put into that game by the community in general.
I remember seeing screenshots of that. I never actually played, but
it was actually quality.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, that's a long lost time. We'll never probably see again, unfortunately.
Ages ago.
Yeah, it's just, I just think, yeah, I mean, I just physically, or not physically, but I literally think they can't make the game, and they can't disclose that, so that's why we're not, I don't think we're going to see it either way, because we kind of can chart out their games. If we really want to sit here and be like, next 2, 3, 5, year cycle, it's pretty obvious what they're going to be working on if you really think about it. And
right.
I think they don't know themselves beyond that. They're going to wait and, like you're saying, test the waters here and there, and they're going to see what what happens. Hardline, I think, is another offshoot, and they're going to see. Warfighter was an offshoot. They obviously didn't like where that one went. So I'm with you, Darth, and we might as well talk about this. I don't really like the direction. I'm not a future guy. I'm a sci-fi guy. I read sci-fi books, movies, and I will play a sci-fi game. But in my shooter, I want boots on the ground. I want it gritty. I want it authentic. I'm not going to use the realism word because you can't do that in gaming. Authenticity, though, I want modern. You can take some liberty. You can give me some snazzy little tech that I can pretend like they use that I just don't know about. But I hope Battlefield, the main franchise, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 6, stays a modern shooter. But I don't know. So, and I think that's where you said on Twitter anyway.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Just on the factor that it's less of a barrier for the audience to overcome, and I think that's true for any a storybook sort of thing you're trying to introduce. Like, I understand that games like Plants vs. Zombies is really fun, but at the same time, that's a whole new universe I have to overcome to just sort of get into where I need to be for that game to be enjoyable to me. And I think you mentioned this a little bit with how you felt the latest expansion was feeling kind of like G.I. Joe to you, where it was very laser guns and toys, and it's
secret military
stuff,
base in Antarctica. Some people have said James Bond. It's the same idea, like this super villain in a mountain with a hovering aircraft carrier. Yeah, secret base.
It's fun stuff, but at the same time, it's a theme departure from what I've already bought into with Battlefield 4. And I wouldn't feel bad if they made a Battlefield 2143. I would actually probably go and be interested in that. But that's a different thing entirely, and that's me making that choice to do that.
You know what you're buying, yeah.
What if they make a 2142 but before it, so a 2141?
I would rather that myself. I've said
that might be a possibility, although that kind of goes down the route of COD, but it could be interesting.
The problem with that is I don't think it would have an identity. It wouldn't be a modern. It wouldn't be a future. Where would it be? But that's why I would rather see the prequel and link the whole stories up, because I think that story is really cool. It's got a lot of possibilities, and like you said, you got the G.I. Joe vibe, which I grew up on. So I'd be all for that over a 43. Because I think sometimes my pitfall of a futuristic shooter is I think the devs have too much freedom. I'm sorry, I think it gets lost. They just I don't know what I can do whatever I want. There's no boundaries. There's no focus or direction here.
Right.
Modern, there's some boundaries you can take. That's why I like the 2025 or 2025 or whatever Battlefield 4 is. You have a little bit of wiggle room. You can kind of fudge some things to make gameplay better, but it's grounded in modernism and the weaponry and things like that. And we might as well just get into it. I don't like any of the attachments or gadgets in this DLC. Let me break it down here. This is how I decide. Is the game better off with them or better off without them? And you can delete them all out of the game, and the game would be better to me right now. I understand it's only on a CTE. That's all I got to talk about, so don't hate me for it, but I don't think any of them enhance the gameplay. Darth, I'll leave it to you since you've actually had hands on, and then we'll go around.
Right. I think they're kind of inconsequential for
at
least me as a PC player. So the thing that somebody pointed out to me is the auto spotting thing, the auto spotting attachment.
I don't mind. That's probably the only one. Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be more useful for console players in particular, since I understand their spotting key is out of the way.
Yeah. They also had this in Bad Company too. So,
right, and it's. Along with the other one, which is just I drop a fake guy on the minimap, which I got fooled by maybe once.
I hate that.
It's really just it feels like they're inconsequential, which is good and bad. Like I think a lot of people would complain if you had a DLC where it's like, oh, you must have this thing to perform whatsoever. But at the same time, if they were so bad that they were worthless, you would be like, well, what was the point of that? And they feel like they walk the line. I think the Riot Shield from Dragon's Teeth was probably way too good, and it's probably way too bad now the way that they swung it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we're not going to talk about SC42 because it's clearly broken. We're just going to pretend that
they did end up fixing it today.
Oh, they did. Okay, good.
Yeah, no more barrel rolling.
Yeah, Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But
that was hilarious. I certainly hope that you got the chance to play with.
No, I didn't. Never shoot it. I didn't feel the need to. I saw the videos and I was just like, okay, I get it. I never saw one. Like I never ran up on one, but I certainly got killed by it about 1,000 times.
Oh yeah.
You know, but the railgun. See, the automatic spotting. And I'm sorry, I'll let you guys come in. That's all right because it's not. What's it? It's only PDWs, I think. Or is it? It's
I think it was on carbines as well.
Okay.
It was on DMRs too because I had it on my.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought it was restricted, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure how they would do that. But in that role, I like it. You know, in the inner of some of these bases, it's really quick, really fast reaction. I like the idea that even if I die, maybe I spotted these guys, you know, automatically. I don't know. That one, at least that one encourages people to help their team, and the decoy kind of annoys me because. It's the information they already present you is so jarbled. You know, you see a guy, you turn around, you look, he's not there. He's 200 feet below you in the fort, or he's on the 50th floor up there. You already have this information that is incorrect. I don't need a decoy on top of it. Now, if they had some way to let you know, like instead of like an arrow, it was a hollow arrow, just an outline, and that meant he's not on your level or something. This has been done in games. It's not like revolutionary. You know, a solid triangle means he's on your level. You know, a hollow means he's not on your, you know, like, so I could be like, okay, he's not a threat. Then you want to introduce a decoy, that's okay. But right now, it's like, I'm already looking for people that aren't there, and now you're going to give an actual item that enhances, I think it's going to not be a big deal, because people aren't going to use it after, you know, they're going to troll with it, it's basically what's going to happen.
Yeah, you mentioned that mini-map overload thing. I think the worst map they've released in the latest set for that is the Hangar map, just because there's so many levels to the inside of the Hangar. It's like,
with the Titan there.
10 different plateaus that people can filter in and out.
Yeah, that one I was just totally confused about, like, because of that. It's like, and every approach is completely exposed. I'm talking inside, I'm not even talking outside yet. So the scaffolding and all that, and both flags are up on the thing, which I didn't really like. I thought they should have had some variety there. Maybe they'll move those, I don't know. But Puppy, when you're typing away, Aardvark, well, I'll let you, since he's typing. What are your impressions from watching, obviously? And if you want to bring a little kind of competitive console vibe in, you feel free.
I haven't had a good look at the layout of the maps, to be honest. I've just seen the general flow of them.
Well,
stuff
Hangar
like the decoy.
Yeah. Whiteout is.
Yeah.
The theme is they're all gigantic.
Yeah, they are pretty big. So
that's what I took from it. Yeah, but yeah, stuff like the decoy. It's not going to make much of an impact because the minimap already doesn't work. What's the decoy going to do? And
it got me.
I don't know. Yeah, but stuff like that canister tow launcher and the railgun would be banned from comms, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, none of this is going to. I'll tell you right now, none of it's going to make it the competitive.
Yeah. God, they still don't even let Deagle in comp, and that makes me mad. But yeah, it's the maps have the classic dice. It's very cluttered, and there's a lot of stuff in the maps. So it's very hard to judge how the maps are going to play, because there's just so much stuff in it, to be honest, compared to other maps where it's just like a simplistic room and doorways and all that. So it's hard to tell without playing, to be honest.
Yeah, well, they're just piling more and more stuff on top of the pile, and the foundation's got cracks, but hopefully we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get some addressing of that. Puppy, what is your impression just from kind of a viewer standpoint at this point? You see yourself liking it? You see yourself not liking it?
I see myself liking it. I think I don't know how much I'll like it or how long. I mean, if you recall, like the last map pack that came out, I played it for 2 days, and then like I didn't play on those maps anymore.
Dragon's Teeth you're talking about.
Yeah, Dragon's Teeth. I forgot the name of it. It slipped my mind for
not all of them, but I love the DLC. I'll say.
Yeah, I'd played on it for a couple of days, and like some of the maps I like, but one of the problems with console is if you run it on an official server, they're DLC specific server rotations, or so like you won't get a mixed server, and people that do the custom servers tend to just not mix from different DLCs for whatever reason, which
it cuts the player base. Yeah, it
cuts the player base, but that makes me sad because that's what I'd rather play on personally. And as far as just to give my 2 cents on the attachments that you guys were talking about, I'm all for the auto spotting just because I feel like that's a way of helping out the noobs, the blueberries that again aren't really helping the team, but at the same time it's not helping them out so much in such a way that I feel like it'll compromise the whole game. You know, it's not like the auto spot hacks that I've seen on PC where everyone on the map is spotted all the time. You know, it's not going to be like that. Obviously, it's going to be probably one of those where you have to look at them or whatever.
I'm
guessing
like it's ADS.
Okay, so like I said, I haven't gotten
on me
hold of
too,
it.
though. They had
Yeah, that's what I mean. This has happened before. It was weird in back because it was in sniper rifles, which isn't really necessary at all. Like, but so I like it on the close quarter weapons better. Like I said, you know. So if it's overpowered, it just means it helps their team too much, and I'm okay with that.
And
as compared to other possibilities.
And as far as the decoys go, there's a mini map in this game. Is there?
Sometimes I would tell you you're better off without it. To be quite honest, I would.
That's the really weird thing about both of these is they're both completely irrelevant for hardcore.
Yeah. Or
I don't. Well, see, I don't play hardcore. I can't visually see because of my eyesight is so bad that I just can't see the minimap. So, I've learned to use like a Halo style minimap if the game has it, where it's just like a circle. There's no buildings on it, and it's kind of a radar thing.
Yeah.
You know,
so like Destiny?
Right,
yeah, like Destiny or Halo did it too. You know, like where if somebody moves, like a little red blip will come up on you. Like, all right, that's the direction I face. You know, I can use a mini map like that, but like the Battlefield mini map, no, forget about it, dude. I can't see anything. So yeah, that's just me. But
yeah. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wish they'd just get rid of mini maps. I don't know why they added them. They make me sad. They do.
Mini maps OP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd have to sit and think about it. I'm just teaching myself to use it more, Frank. I'm always teaching myself to use it more because I don't enough. But on these new maps, I definitely have to. I'm like always looking because I don't know what the heck is going on. You know, I love that rush of a new map to play, but I hate that paranoia of a new map to play. It's so. I mean, I got my ad. Darth, I don't know if you were playing the Hangar. Was it last night?
Yeah.
I was just. First, I was running around just trying to steal the sites, and next thing I know, I never got those maps, those matches where you just can't get in the groove. You just whatever you do. I was telling I think Punisher on Twitter. I was like, I was afraid to shoot because I felt like every time I fired my weapon, I was instantly killed by a chopper or shot in the back by a sniper. It was just like as soon as you and I was like, eventually.
There's so many threats outside on Hangar 21. Yeah. Like that's just gonna be a miserable experience.
Then you're like, I'm gonna throw a suppressor on, so that doesn't happen, but. It's long range fights. You're completely useless. It's just, I just could not get in the jive of that map. But so why don't we just segue into it then? We're going to talk about the maps on CTE specifically now. So we'll talk about Hangar because it's fresh in my mind right now. It is the most unique one thus far. I haven't seen the most recent one, so we'll save that one for last. And Darth, you're kind of going to take over that. I haven't seen a video. Actually, I watched like a Jack Frags video of it this morning, but on my phone that didn't even resolution right. So. Hangar, I don't know. Like it's so weird, right? Am I wrong? It's like a Domovan peak in reverse mixed with Operation Mortar. It's like, but like they spawn up into the side, clear advantage because they're uphill. You got, but then there's these pods that are thrown in. It's
definitely a very interesting map. Like, this is another map. They seem to like doing this now since Wavebreaker, I guess, was everybody's favorite map, where they have this inside portion where the people who hate the outside can go and hide, which I did a lot of last night. Then they have this outside portion where everybody who wants to snipe each other or hit each other with UAVs or sit with a bipod on top of a mountain can go to.
Yeah, or they park the chopper up on the cliff and just shoot the side gun. I mean, I got killed by that 10 times probably.
And actually, of the larger maps they made, I didn't mind this one so much just because of those pods, because they gave you the ability to get across the map super quick.
Well, I'll just say the theme clearly, and without playing the fourth one, is it's a big map, wide open map, vehicle focus map, and they're trying to provide infantry this whole little playground to go play in. That's kind of like somewhere else, and I don't like that. I mean,
this one actually was pretty infantry centric. I think there's just the 2 transport helicopters, the 2 aircraft, and then some snowmobiles, and that was it. So it's sniper paradise, really.
Yeah, there's no cover is the problem, and that's another recurring theme. So. Yeah, this one probably intrigues me the most, and it might have the most potential. I'm really curious to see how the other modes play out, specifically Rush.
That should be really interesting. Conquest, I think they're doing that over the weekend, actually.
I thought that was on Hammerhead. Was Rush? It could be wrong.
They're doing 2.
Capture the flag.
One is Rush, and the other is Capture the Flag. Yeah, it's Capture the Flag on Hangar.
Yeah, I just don't know how that's going to work. The map is not balanced. The map is inherently grotesquely imbalanced, and it's just weird. Like, because Conquest plays out like Rush, so how is Rush gonna play? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm like, that map is either gonna be the best one or the worst one. Like, I think, like, from Dragon's Teeth, I think we said when we did it, like Lumphini Garden, some of us were like, it's not bad, it's not bad. I was like, but I think in a month or two it could be the one everybody hates, and it's the one I hate now. It's just boring.
It's kind of funny. Like, I thought that was going to be the one I hated, and I think that's the one I like the most now, just because of the UCAF.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have a special love for that. I'm not going to digress about it, but you know, sometimes you have to play a map so many times to really hate it or appreciate it. I don't know what this one is going to be. Like, it's a very different map, which is fine. I'm okay with them taking a chance. So, what do you guys, Aardvark, did you get enough impression on the Hammer 21-ish, right? I can't even remember the number.
Hangar 21, yeah.
Man, I don't know. It reminds me of Wavebreaker so much.
Yeah, well,
the insides, it just all looks like any Wavebreaker. That's pretty much it.
Well, the inside's huge. It's almost like a whole other map.
Yeah. Yeah. Does any of these maps have Levolution on it?
Yeah. Which one does the second one? What the heck's it called? Giants has the dome.
Yeah, Giants has the dome. The Hangar 21 has the Titan.
The flames out of the bottom.
And the hangar opens and closes. Ooh, woo.
Yeah, they're lame. It's
damn Levolution.
Yeah, they basically hyped the hell out of that and then just never did it again. Which, whatever. I'm not really that upset about, but
I'm all for infantry maps. If it's going to be that, it should be good.
I don't know if I'd call it an infantry map, but it's not armored kill. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's like armored kill without the armor.
Yeah, it's like somehow it doesn't have armor, but it's not infantry friendly. If that makes any sense to you, it's a sniper haven, like you said. It's a fishbowl. It's like the walls of the cliff, and you can get on a lot of them. Then there's the big mountain. You can get on that. There's really no cover, especially on a big conquest map or match. That cover's gone, even the cover that's there.
Is it like Gulen Peaks, where it's just huge? It has transport helicopters, and it's not vehicle heavy.
Well, you don't need the transports because you got the pods shooting people back and forth. So it's very ring around the rosy,
it's
very
like
random.
Gulen Peaks if it were a big bucket.
Yeah, it's very Gulen Peaks basically.
Okay.
It's like you'll cap. Especially going up the hill is hard. You'll get the couple 3 caps and you're pushing your way up the hill and you're just about to breach and get into and you're like, here we go. And next thing you look back, your caps behind you are all taken because the guys just potted over you. I'm not necessarily against that. I like how it kind of shuffles the deck, and otherwise that map would be just a spawn camp because the team up the mountain would just roll down the mountain and camp the other team in. So it kind of randomizes things. A little too much, but it's hard to say because it's everybody's first nights, couple first matches and stuff, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on that map, but gonna play it.
My guys are gonna love that map. Just so you know, Hangar 21. That's gonna be the pilot map for people who just want to dogfight each other.
Oh, because it has no ceiling. But is that gonna stay that way? You think?
Probably not. But at the same time, like it's wide and large, and there's no MAA on it. There's no.
Well, wasn't somebody predicting it's supposed to? I saw on Twitter. Somebody, I forget who it was. I don't know. I read something that they might be putting one on there, which I thought was I'm thinking MAA on infantry, like up the mountain. And I was like,
that's not going to be used for jets.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's part of being a CTE. I'm willing to give it a lot of leeway on certain things like that, and that time will tell on that. I guess they're going to extend it for the weekend for a couple. But then Tiggy said they're going to revisit in 3 or 4 weeks. I think he said they're going to make their changes that they got, and they're going to revisit in a couple weeks, I guess, and do this again. So that would be really interesting to see what how much can be done based on feedback. Because I'll tell you what, I've read the CTE forums, and we lost Aardvark for a second.
Oh.
It's all right. I don't know if his audio is still there, but we're gonna keep moving on. That's a really weird picture, Aardvark.
Yeah, get over it.
Puppy, did you have something to say about Hangar? I know you haven't played it. Do you have any kind of impressions on it, or we'll move on to the next one?
I have no comments on Duck Hunt HD.
Yeah, if that dog pops up and just mocks me, I'll freak out. Darth, which one do you want to talk about next? You got Whiteout. We'll leave Hammerhead to the end because I want to end on a good note, apparently.
Right. Giants was actually kind of an interesting map. Do you want to start that off? Or
I like Giants. Giants would have to be. Well, let's just put it this way: Whiteout's my least favorite, by far. Hangar 21 is my enigma. I don't know what the hell's going on there yet. Giants is the one, if I had to pick, like, which one I'm going to play most out of those three, it's probably going to be that one. It's the same thing, though. It's a, what is it, Wave Breaker. It's this big open vehicle map, but it's got this little area for infantry to go play. But what I like, that I think I did this in my video today, is just that at least it's original. It's unique. It's not this copy-paste of assets. They actually went in, and they put a lot of time, seemingly, because, again, they're doing a lot with the story, and I appreciate that. Didn't have a lot of time to look around or anything, but... So, I look forward to getting to know playing in that infantry inside area. I could do without the rest of the map, to be honest, but I understand there's people that like that, so I'm not going to hate on that, but this one is clearly a step up to me than Whiteout. At least I can get from flag to flag without being sniped and choppered, and, you know, so, and it felt a little more compact. Like, I could easily get from one flag to the other. So I definitely, so far, that's the one I've liked the most.
I think Giants is going to be one of those maps that after they tweak it, it probably will be a great map. The problem I have with it is particularly that northern stretch where it's like A and B, and I think Bravo is the gimme for the Russian team, or was it Chinese? I can't remember.
That's the one that's farthest away.
Yeah, and then you have Alpha, and then there's this giant stretch of undulating hills between the two that's just punishment to run over.
Yep.
Like
I can't run directly.
Like, I tried a couple of times as infantry to just hold down those 2 points, and it just doesn't happen. And the problem with all these maps, I feel like, is that there just isn't enough transportation.
The oil container or something, right? Isn't that the one?
There's like a little village at Bravo or something.
Then A is the one with the big
up on the hill, I think Alpha is the one with the big tank.
Yeah, okay. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, there's just, on a 64-player server, there just feels like there's no transportation to get from one to the other. And I wouldn't mind driving a bike from one to the other and going that way. But you know, that whole infantry section that's over in the bottom part of the map in the mech hangar is actually really cool, and it's absolutely unbelievably enormous for reasons I don't quite understand, but I assume that it's going to be the domination part of the map, and that actually sounds really interesting, because that was the interesting part of the map.
I think I saw him Tiggy say all the infantry modes will be in the base, and I think he meant on all, because every map, I'm assuming Hammerhead, I saw a little bit of a video, has this base area, this inside that's clearly made for infantry. And it's I would wager TDM, all the infantry modes will be in these bases. Clearly seems like they were designed that way. It's almost like they had different designers for these, you know, an outside designer and inside, and, you know, obviously there's more cover and more stuff like that. So, yeah, that one, like I said in my video, that one reminds me of Sunken Dragon. You know, like where you're in that restaurant and there's this big open veranda in the middle that is like you just poke your head out. There's 80 different levels that anybody can shoot you from. And of course, there's always a jackass that's like standing on top of the control tower with an RPG. And then, of course, if you haven't had enough fun,
that's usually me, to be honest.
If you haven't had enough fun, then some idiot goes and blows open the dome, and so an attack chopper just hovers there, raining down death on the infantry party. So it'll be interesting. I look forward to getting to know. And what I like is that one has so many routes to other flags. You can quickly, what's the F flag? I think you can literally get outside and you're like right on the F burn. Yeah. So it gives infantry a way to affect the match, which I think that one.
I feel like that map is probably the most armored kill of all the maps, because there is a ton of vehicles on that map.
I feel that. I see what you're saying. I would say Whiteout is armored kill. I mean, you could put Whiteout right in armored kill, you wouldn't notice it. But I see the volume of vehicles, sure. I mean, you've got the running up and down the river and jet skis. You got choppers, tanks, yeah. I mean, but you can avoid it at least in that map. That's the part I like. I can go from rock to rock or tree to tree. And, of course, then get into the base area and at least just be like, screw you guys. I'm playing an FPS, you know.
Right.
But, so. Console guys, you got anything to add? I know we're trying to move through these a little.
No AC-130, apparently.
From what I watched.
There is on one mode.
Thank God.
Whiteout
no, not on Whiteout. Whiteout is
it's a bomber.
Cruise missile. Yep. Giants is cruise missile. I didn't check Hangar yesterday, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a cruise missile. But oh God, I pray they didn't put an AC-130 on any of these maps.
They finally got the hint that
thing.
no one likes
right, you're tying it to armored kill, yeah. Puppy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, it kind of, Giant in particular, kind of gives me the impression of being a rather vehicle-centric map, personally, from what I saw.
Yeah, it's definitely focused on it, especially outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, perhaps I watched the wrong gameplays, but I didn't get to see any inside.
No, it definitely is outside. And he said there's a volume of the vehicles. I'm just speaking from infantry as far as like I don't feel like I'm helpless. You know, like I can hide, I can get around, can't really do anything against. I mean, obviously you're an engineer, you can, but it can't do much about it. Like that. What is it? What's the middle flag? Is that D flag? the train bridge.
Oh, gosh,
Just, like,
yeah, the train bridge.
As an infantry, you just don't even do it. Like, you just like, I'm just not going. That's yours, guys. Like, I'm not. There's no cover. It's nothing. So, yeah, I felt like the distance was pretty good though. Like you said, some of them are like messed up because of the terrain in between them, but the distance isn't so bad. Because even A and B flag in one match, I did kind of hold those two, which was kind of a pain in the ass, but it was doable.
Yeah, it's very much a pull out your long range weapons.
Oh yeah, I think I had like an AR, the 160 or something, or you know, I don't remember, but yeah, I was definitely leaning, you know, to longer ranges there. And like I said, I kept on the one I wanted to put a suppressor on. I'm like, I can't put a suppressor on because I was just like ding 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 ding.
This is the first time where I actually pulled out the DMR in a good long while and just ran around with that for a long time.
I could definitely see that, but and it's like on CTE especially, I wasn't gonna go like SAR or like a light hitting weapon because I'm already freaked out about the lessened damage. But we'll go get that in a minute. So let's talk about Whiteout then. We'll move right along because I do want to hear. Now I'm like wanting to hear about Hammerhead. I want to say I hated this map, but I don't think that's fair. Obviously, it's CTE. I just don't see anything that I'm gonna like about this map. Even the base area, and I said this in my videos, is copy pasted assets. It's kind of like this is literally to me Wavebreaker. Even the inside to me feels like Wavebreaker.
Well, but yeah,
there's not much original here. It's a white canvas they didn't paint, and then the base underneath is just kind of this warehouse with stuff in it. I don't know.
So
I'm not impressed.
The thing that felt weird to me about Whiteout is that those base areas don't seem to be like the center point of the map. Like the center point of the map is this conglomeration of buildings, and one kind of resembles a building from 2142. And there's the MK, not the MKV, what do they call it? The Accipiter or something. The robot of doom that flies to the sky at that base.
Yeah, something.
But yeah, this is a absolutely enormous map, and I'm pretty sure that DICE put helicopters on this map just to troll people, because between the SC-42 and the railguns that are on this map, and just being shot down by tanks and all the infantry on here, like this map proves the point that helicopters are just death machines.
Yeah, well, that's what it's like. You take fire. There's no real cover on this map. It's terrain. It's undulating terrain. It's peaking over crests of hills, and like, I'm okay with that. Like, it's kind of a Caspian kind of feel in that sense. You know, like there's literally no cover, so it's like you're in a gunfight. You're trying to work that. Even if it's an armor, you're working angles. And then it's just you see a chopper. It could be a mile away, and it's just like I'm dead. Like there's just nowhere. Where do I go? And that's
I feel like they must have made that middle portion in mind of just having the railgun be the featured item on this map.
Yeah, but it's like
the thing that everybody's
middle
rushes.
portion is also surrounded by a ridge, so it's a bowl. There's no real permanent cover. It's just I don't know. It's like I feel like that's my penance to just if I'm an infantry guy, I have to play that map. I just have to take it, and I just have to all right, guys, have your vehicle fun. I get it. I'll get you next map. It's like, what are you gonna do? Because even the base, like, there's not much. You can control the base all match, you'll still lose pretty handily. There's not a much effect that base has.
The bomber's on that map too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's the what is it?
The call it China Rising bomber.
Yeah, so that's my least favorite by far, and I don't know if it's in the scope of, like, I always call it like a server killer. Like when that map comes up, people just I'm out. That's enough for me.
See ya.
It might be for me though. At some point, I'm gonna give it a fair shake, and obviously it's CTE, but I was like, I don't see what they can do to this map to make it fun for me. Like, least of all is like the reticle. You can't see. Like, obviously you're in dirt, snow, but no. Like, I have a hollow sight aiming at somebody, and I am just guessing where my reticle is because you can't see anything, and it's like. Did you test this at all? Because that should have, like, immediately, like, first 5 minutes, somebody should, hey, dude, we got to change the reticle. Like,
I think they're aware of it because Tig was specifically asking about that when soliciting feedback from the community on that map in particular.
And the guy's like, I know he's right, but do we need feedback on this?
Well, just to make sure it's bad, right?
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this? Like, it doesn't work. And like I said, the function of changing your color, I mean, they love customization. Make it a fucking premium feature. Put it in a battle pack. I don't care. Like, because the idea is, like, obviously, I like the idea of pushing people off the normal sites. Like, great. But what are you, like, a FLIR? Like, how's, like, there's really no viable optic aside from ones we already use. I mean, irons you could maybe use, but most of the irons in this game are horrible. Like, they're not functional at all. So
Put on
half of them are the
FOMOS
same.
irons.
yeah, like almost you wanted the Canid irons, so you always use those to some. But
Yeah.
because I thought about it, I was like, well, what else could I use here? Like, and you can't really use hollow. I don't know. Like, just let me change my reticle. It's not that hard. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, I'm doing someone else's job, but I'm not asking for this big reprogram. Just kind of change the color, and it goes right along with their customization that they love so much. And yeah, something has to be done. If they don't change that, like, that's to me, that's a map killer. Like, literally, there was times like I wanted the old. I don't know if you guys ever did this. I used to play with guys that played Bad Company too, and it was a hardcore, took the reticle away, they would put like post-it notes in the middle of their screen, and that would just, you know, they could no scope, they could do it. I don't know, it was like they would just clip the corner off, and it would be in their screen. I was like, man, that's what I'd have to do here. I'd have to put something on my screen to shoot. It's kind of silly, but like I said, you needed feedback for that. But that drove me crazy, kind of. I was having bad FPS issues on that map too, to be fair. But I don't know, like I didn't have to play that map to know that map wasn't for me though. So, what do you think, Puppy?
Man, I got no input beyond what you guys have already mentioned. I mean, on that map in particular, just no, from what I got to see, no, just
And what you can't see as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's actually more the point.
Yeah, like I take issue with the whole notion. I mean, obviously they've done this. It was Oman. You know, this whole visual. They obviously did with suppression. I'm like, listen, guys, it's a first-person shooter. Like one of the core facets you really can't mess with is my vision. Like, you know, if I can't see and I can't see my reticle, like, there's certain things you shouldn't mess with. Like,
you know what it actually kind of reminds me of is I remember way back in the day when I had a really, like, I'm talking way back in the day, I had a really crummy computer before I got to throw a good gaming video card back in the day when AGP was a thing, if anybody knows. And I was trying to play Morrowind, and the card that I had wasn't good enough. So I actually found that you could download a mod that would make it to where there was constantly a storm around you, but that storm would bring in your view to the point where you got tolerable FPS. I'm kind of wondering, like, is DICE kind of going the same route? Like,
So
I don't feel like designing anything.
Battlefield 1942, that's exactly what they did. Is they called the draw distance by having the fog in the distance that was always present.
Fog, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're like, here, guys, let's help the old gen console. It's like, let's just blur it out. But I bet, honestly,
The Oman fog kills my
I was going to say, the irony of the Shanghai dust,
the
the problem is
kill.
they did it in a way, it probably melts machines. Like, it's, they've clearly had that as a theme, which I get. You know, it's immersion, it's atmosphere. It sounds good on paper, but again, we're in a first-person shooter. I need to see people, I need to aim, I need to kill people. You're messing with my vision too much, and so I think they need to take a step back a little bit. But I mean, I don't think with all that said, I think with a decent reticle, I don't think the visual impairment on Whiteout is that bad. I think it's just when it's combined with the fact that the reticle just washes out, it doesn't work. So
if they made the thermal actually good, it might
be
okay.
Or maybe throw another.
But the thermal's rubbish.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, those aren't even viable options. Like, maybe if I
Yeah.
wanted to stand off on someone, but they're like so slow and bulk. To me, it's not a viable option. But
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't see them adding gadgets. That's my thing. Is like, obviously they're so sacred on tools and gadgets and weapons only being in DLCs that then how do we get around that? And I don't know. So hopefully they'll do something. So Darth, I'm going to let you take the stage here on Hammerhead. Tell me why this is going to be the best map of the DLC for me, I hope.
Well, it's very much like Wavebreaker, which I actually liked, but at the same time, you have this central location with this submarine base in the middle. I think you've heard this story before. And you have a bunch of points around the outside, and you have a sort of a frozen lake around that sub base. It's actually, I found this to be the most fun simply because it felt like it had a good combination of vehicles that could be on the outside, mostly just armor tank things that we're used to. I think there's a stealth jet on the map, so there's not really too much air to worry about. The two attack helicopters that spawn on the map are actually away from the point, so you have to run to them, which is kind of interesting. And just in general, the cool part of the map that the Hangar 21 and Giants both have, that's this sort of interior part, is actually central to the map, which I think helps it out a lot. Whereas with those two maps, I feel like it's off to the side and kind of a almost forgotten thing on those two maps, because that's not where the action takes place most of the time.
Yeah, well, I would agree. The biggest thing with Hangar is, like, I wanted to always be in that area, but it was very hard to get in that area. Like, as an infantry, you could try a match and never really get in there against a good team. Trying to think, Yeah, Giants would kind of be less and Whiteout, there was really no reason to go in there, to be honest, aside from just hiding.
Just if you wanted the hover tank, and that's pretty much why I guess people went in there.
Yeah, it was so out of the normal stream, or at least out of the tactical like, assets that you would want to take. Yeah, I saw. I mean, the ice. I mean, that's the theme, isn't it? I mean, it's like this ice thing that supposedly you can break, and that I saw.
Yeah, that's just in the middle though. That's so vehicles have a harder time of going through.
Right, that's why I saw some of that. How big is the base area? Because, like I said, I only saw like one grainy ass video. So
I think it's about equivalent to the submarine base in Wavebreaker. To be honest, it's a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it actually felt really good. There's a ton of areas that you can just sort of flank around your enemies and be smart about it. And for the most part, it's only about 2 levels of infantry action at any given time, so there's not too much information to process. Unlike Hangar, which is you have to watch out
like
for.
That. Yeah, it's a little too much.
100 stories up.
C4 flying down, and yeah, it's a little much. I mean, we'll wait.
Yeah, it gets a little bit confusing with the minimap, like you pointed out, because you have if you're inside the submarine base, you can still have people walking around on top of the mountain next to you, or
that's
up
on
top
all
of you. So
Giants is the same way, because some reason people like to be up on that dome sniping, so you get those people up there.
So my sincere hope is that if DICE fixes something additional on the CTE after the multi-level minimap problem where it says, yes, this guy's above you, yes, this guy's below you.
Well, you spin around on a 180 because you think you're about to get knifed, and there's nobody there because the guy's on the roof, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but now we'll have decoys. But this is more a circular-oriented map.
I know nothing about this map, there's just basically the U.S. spawns on one side, the Russians spawn on the other. There's a big circle of points around a submarine base in the middle, and it's pretty much round and round however you want. It plays out like Wavebreaker if Wavebreaker had tanks instead of boats. Like
Guian Peaks or something from China Rising maybe.
Yeah, it actually feels really good.
All right, cool. I'm encouraged. I've heard good things about it, but most of the people I watched at 10 a.m. this morning are kind of, suspect to say the least. So I was anxious to talk to you.
Whatever could you say?
Well, they've said it all apparently. So, do you guys have any opinions? Because I don't really have much to say on this. I'm hopeful for this. It's my last hope, but I don't know. I just think the theme on this one is not directed for me, and that's okay. Like I understand other people enjoy the different style of play than I do, but I'm not gonna review it as someone else. I'm gonna review it as me. So. Not encouraged. I'm kind of disappointed, but I'll find value there. Especially we have more infantry modes now. I still haven't seen any word on Chain Link, which I assumed if it was going to be in it, we'd have heard it by now. But I hope so. I would like another infantry mode in there.
I personally don't have any input on that particular map just because I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah,
I tried.
Darth, what would you say was your favorite? What would you say was your least favorite then?
Hammerhead's probably going to be my favorite. And my least favorite, yeah, it's going to be Whiteout because that map just... there were times in which I said, this is kind of fun. And there are times I'm like, the hell with this map. This is terrible. I hate this. Why am I even playing this?
Let me sum up my opinion on this DLC right here. My favorite map is the map I haven't played. My least favorite is Whiteout. So there you go. Like I'm not hating on it. Like if they designed it because other people enjoy it, that's great. I'd love to see the metrics someday because I think that's a mistake. But that's a different topic. Actually, I'm gonna make a video on that at some point. But I just don't get it. Their template is clearly big open outside, little cubby hole for infantry to go play by themselves on the inside, and that's just how they're going to do it. It works in some maps, it hasn't worked in others, but I don't think it's an armored kill. I don't think it's one of these, for me, that had zero value. I think it's going to be like an end game. Some maps are good, some maps are not. We'll see. Time will tell. Hopefully, I'm interested to see what they make in like 4 weeks' time. I'm really interested to see how Rush plays, even Capture the Flag, just a different mode. Apparently, they focused a lot more on Rush. We've heard this line before. The reason I kind of buy into it a little bit is I did have that push on CTE a couple weeks ago, so I don't expect miracles, but at least they recognize that Rush is a game mode this time, I think. So
right. We'll they at least know what makes a better Rush
and
map.
I don't think they would showcase it here if they weren't confident. Now, that confident might be misplaced, but I think they did a good job here. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, because God, Lord knows we need some Rush maps just to mix it up. I gotta say,
I'm waiting for Rush to come back when the CTE patch finally comes along.
Like I'm so loyal to Battlefield. I love it, But I got to tell you, I hate Conquest at this point in my life. I don't know if it's I'm getting old. It's just, I don't know. It's boring. I'm sorry. I don't know how some of you guys make it your primary game mode, but hey, to each his own, I guess.
Let's play domination all the time.
Well, and I get that, but I don't even. Maybe we get called a COD noob probably at least once or twice. That's what I always get, but
it's just fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's just as we're not going to get into that. I'm trumpeting that horn. Let's talk again. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to just kind of speculate with us here. But you guys should know the CTE, the big patch, apparently went into cert. And the reason I'm going to talk about this is really the first time I played CTE in a while. I've never really gotten to CTE. I never even did my hotkeys fully. I never did my sensitivity because they changed all that. So I finally started messing with that. And I got to tell you, like, I love the changes they made.
Oh, yeah.
The visual recoil changes by far is probably the biggest one. It's like I think I tweeted this. I want to call it easy. It is easier, but it's not easy. It just feels less frustrating. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta wet, you know, and obviously I have aim issues, and it'll be different for you guys on console at the same time. But it's just like you're not fighting your weapon. Like it kind of does what you want it to do. Obviously.
It takes the randomness out of the skill factor and actually aiming. Now you're actually worrying about the recoil of the gun rather than how the animator felt the day he was making that gun.
Right. Not RNG Jesus. You know, it's like if you miss, it's because you missed, not because you rolled the dice wrong, kind of thing. Oh, wow, that was a nice pun, actually.
I actually feel like nice. I actually feel like it makes the medium range scopes plausible to use again, because I felt like there was just between that and just the regular pull on it, it was just so many of the guns were just completely unusable with just by themselves, because they tended to be the ones that would favor that kind of scope, and now those are much better. Like I was playing with the G36 the other day, and I wasn't hating the hell out of it like I usually do.
Yeah, well, what was the MPX, and I was just like, there is no recoil. I mean, and it's PDW, and to be balanced, it really shouldn't be. But I was just even like, holy smokes, this feels like COD, honestly. But it was funny, like, for me, it was on Whiteout. I was having frame issues, so I wasn't even getting a good experience. But I was like running around knocking people off head glitches like it was nothing. Like it was like, and for me, that's kind of like, there's a lot of times in a regular mode that I would look at a head glitch and be like, I'm evading. Like, I'm just not even going to get into this gunfight, because by the time I hit him in the head, chances are I'm going to be dead, but not here. I was like, no, I got this. Like, the gun's going to do it. That was with the wrong sensitivity, FPS issues. So like, if I ever get this thing to run smoothly, that feels so nice.
Yeah. Everything changes when you can trust your gun to shoot where you
that's what it was. It was like, I trust that I can turn, hit this guy, and it's going to be a headshot. And, you know, you guys know it's a head glitch. You hit him, it doesn't give you a headshot credit. You know, you get crazy. But I'll tell you one thing that drives me nuts, but in a good way, though, is this damage. And I think I was on Twitter, too. It's like so many times I'm pulling off people to get target 2, and at target 1 just goes, I'm still here. Boom, you're dead. You know, like, and you just laugh, because you're like, all right, I know why that happened, and I'm going to get used to that. It's not a big deal, but
that's going to surprise a lot of people when the new patch comes out.
Yeah, I didn't think the damage difference on paper was going to be that much, but it is quite a bit. It's at least a bullet, I would think, in the average gunfight. And I was just like, which I like. Again, I'm aboard with. I think it'll make the game better. It's going to stretch out gunfights a little bit, and I think it's going to let skill kind of shine in essence. But it is going to surprise people, and I'll be curious to see how that kind of people are going to go freaking nuts, man. They're gonna go. Reddit is just going to explode.
People don't like change.
Oh my gosh! It takes my whole magazine to kill a guy now.
Yeah, it's oh my god, you have to prioritize headshots. It's like, wow, yeah, you know, like
you have to aim in the game now. Oh god, no.
Center mass all day, every day, you know. But it'll be interesting. It's not as bad as Bad Company 2. Like, I thought Bad Company 2 was crazy. That was more hit detection, but that you just had to like sit there and just hold your button down, like, die please, die please. This one was like, I feel like there will be a time where I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Okay, he's done. I'm on to the next one. But I was shocked that was quite a big, stark kind of difference. So, and then last one for me was player movement. I was running into stuff. I was like drunk, like, because it's not a huge difference, but like when you put so many hours in and you're so used to it, and I guess part of it was again not having the right sensitivity too, but.
So The big thing for me when Battlefield 4 first came out that I was just raging for days is I would try to peek a corner and try to get back in after all that, after coming out of Battlefield 3, and it's just like, nope, there is no peeking in Battlefield 4. But after all the CTE changes, the player movement, them fixing the tick rate, and then also adjusting some other server-side settings, it feels pretty good to be able to peek a corner again and take a look and shoot somebody and get back behind cover before, you know, all 7 of their bullets arrive in one packet.
Yeah, well, you get back around the corner, but you die still anyway.
It's actually felt a lot better.
Yeah,
for me
I agree.
The last couple of months, or the last couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're vast improvements. I think not everybody's going to agree with me. Like I said, I think people are going to rage and go crazy. Why don't we? I don't know if again you guys obviously haven't gotten to play, but I hadn't really until recently. So, are you guys looking forward to any other changes? That I mean, we don't really know exactly what's. Are the rush changes in this one? I'm not even sure.
Yes, they're coming in there. Pretty much every change that they put in up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago is going to make it in. There was a couple of things that didn't.
Okay.
I'm just anxious to get some updates to it. Period. I mean. A lot of it, all right, you can call me whatever name you wish for this, but, you know, like, okay, everyone's been complaining about the netcode of the game since day one. Personally, never had an issue with it. I never died around a corner. There was a few times where I'd shoot the hell out of somebody and then they'd turn and shoot me. That was a thing, but...
And trades, obviously.
Yeah, and trades, lots and lots of trades. But I don't really mind trades because I'm used to, like, come from a heavy Halo background, and Bungie is unfortunately awful at netcode. They do it really badly. But, you know, so, like, a lot of these updates, like, when it happened, you know, like, we did get the netcode one already pushed to us a while ago now. Like, I noticed the change, and, you know, like, it felt good, and it felt better. So, like, as much as the old way didn't really bother me, the improvement I noticed was an actual improvement, so I was okay with that. There's other stuff, you know, that's coming down the pipes. Again, it's stuff that hasn't really bothered me, but the fact that it's coming kind of makes me anxious, and the fact that I'm like, come on, let's do this already, because I'm just... I know there's the whole patch approval and process, even though we don't charge for it anymore.
It's your fault.
Yeah,
I'd have the patch already if it wasn't for you peasants.
Well, my big issue is it's not so much that you guys have to hold on; it's that there's already been ways that other game developers have found to patch games like same-day patch on console, and that's basically just through having a downloader. Like an update checker installed in the game, and I don't understand why this isn't a more common thing. Like, why can't we do this just so that we can push out hotfixes without having to even go through approval?
I suspect that's probably what TIG is talking about when they want to offer CTE support to consoles, because that's probably the only way that it's going to happen. Unless there's some other clause that they can get Microsoft and Sony to say, yep, you don't have to go through our certification process.
Yeah, it's almost like they got to like pay insurance or something. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do that, how they're going to do that after, you know, they basically told us up, down, left, and right that they couldn't for the lifetime of Battlefield 3. But I mean, honestly, any effort and improvement is good, but we'll see what they do. It's like, I hear what you're saying. Like, I agree with you. I think a lot of these changes are just like, they're not earth-shattering changes. Like the visual recoil, even the weapon rebalancing, the damage, those are big changes. But like for me, it's like the quality of life changes are awesome. Like the triage of revives, the simple little like the spotting icons have changed, and like the changing of the HUD, the customization. You can turn your friendly HUDs way down. It's like simple little things that are just gonna make your experience.
I want
so
it
much better.
So badly. Like the one thing I wanted from CTE since day one is aiming down sights. Get rid of the crap on my HUD, please. I just want to target that guy.
It's such a simple thing. It's like, and it's
the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. It's just not having a giant letter in the middle of my screen when I'm trying to shoot people. You can't get away.
Activate ADS, it goes away. And like I said, these are I call them quality of life issues. They're not going to change the balance of the game. They're not going to really. Some people will never even use them. But I went into settings. I was just looking at them. I'm like, oh my god, I can't even wrap my head around these right now. But you know, like just simple things like triage. That's been around since Battlefield 3. It's nice to see that finally get in there, and it helps. Like, it took me a while to like actually start using it the other night. I was like, oh wait, wow, cool. You know.
Yeah, you can actually use the charge system now rather than going, you get 20 because I don't know how long you've been here.
Exactly. I'm not going to risk missing you, so yeah, I'm going to just charge. So, it's like I don't want to get excited. Like Puppy saying, hurry up, get it. I am now. Now that I've been playing CTE, I'm like, the gunplay just feels so nice and smooth and like not frustrating. I know that's not a good way to describe something. Some people are going to
annoying now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, the purists, the Battlefield 2 guys are going to be, you know, they're watering it down more. They're who gives a shit? It's fun. Like, I'm not looking to fire an authentic weapon when I play. That's not what I'm looking for. Go play Arma, in my opinion. Like, I want a balanced, fun gameplay. I don't want to feel like I'm working when I'm playing. You know, like, I want a challenge, don't get me wrong. And that's why I don't play COD, or I don't play even Titanfall a little bit. I'm not hating on those games. They are what they are, but I want some ballistics. I want some skill involved, but I just remove the random, I guess, like you said, and I'm all for that. And it feels so much better to me, and maybe it's just because I'm a bad player. I don't know, and it's easier. It might be the case, but I don't care. It's all
those little frustrations that they've been working out of the game this summer that really make the noticeable difference between Battlefield 4 on the CTE and Battlefield 4 the way it is live. And I think people will always still find things to hate. Like, they could make this game literally flawless, and there will still be haters.
Well, because it's not Battlefield 2.
It is the internet.
It's just funny. It'll be really interesting to me to see how. You know, tick rate obviously is a big change. Time to kill related. Now you're going to have the visual recoil gone. You're going to have the weapon damage moved. Heavy barrel is now very, very viable. There's a lot of things that are just going to kind of reshuffle that deck, so to speak. And it's going to be, I bet new guns will probably pop up a little bit. You know, it's just going to be very different. I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into it again. It just gets me thinking about the game again, which has kind of gone stale to this point. So I can't wait for it. I'm with Puppy. I hope it gets your cert right away. I think that's a plan. I mean, clearly, I think they're holding this. Obviously, well, I'm thinking about it now. They're talking about 4 weeks bringing it back to the CTE, so we might not be looking at the DLC until the end of October at the earliest, I'd say.
I'm thinking it's going to be November.
Yeah, that's what I was probably have to say, and which makes sense because that's the only ammo they have right now in that fall season. So they clearly want to get this patch out, deal with any issues that come up with that, which we know there will be. There always is. Smooth that out and then go into the DLC. So I mean, I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. So especially since the other game I was looking forward to just basically killed me. But we'll get into that. So let's move on. Let's get out of the Battlefield spectrum so you guys can actually contribute. I'm sorry about that. Let's talk, shall we, about Destiny? You guys, I was trying to think of a quick game to go.
I was going to drop this bomb out there. Did you guys see the Polygon review today?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
What happened?
6 out of 10.
What?
Don't care.
So,
Don't care.
What? Do these people
I was surprised.
game, bro? 6 out of 10? That's...
Well, listen, we're here talking about it. That's why they gave it a 6 out of 10.
You know, I don't know what's going on there.
So
maybe
tell me,
you know
what? Tell me why it's wrong, Puppy.
You know what I think happened there? That's probably wrong because Polygon didn't get the paycheck they were waiting for.
Didn't get
There you
go.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Dude.
The most shocking thing about all this is that people still pay attention to ratings. Like that.
Yeah. You know, I was having a good old rant in Skype the other day about IGN. Having an average rating of, was it like 8.5 or something? It's their average rating. Yeah, so much for having a 5 be average, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, I use those things as entertainment. They're not for information. It's like, for this, like, we're laughing at them. It's like, but tell me, Puppy, why do you disagree with that rating? Let's dive into it. Give me your impressions, sir.
I will say it like this. I haven't even done a review on this or anything, so I guess that's more or less what this is going to be. I will say this. I went into this game super, super skeptical because I was thinking, all right, we're talking level 1 to 20. Like, 20 is your cap. You're going to be able to hit it in just a few hours. And, like, these are words coming out of the devs, you know. And then they're like, oh, they're trying to backtrack a bit. And they're saying, oh, no, it's not like the beta. It's going to take a little longer than the beta. It didn't.
A bit longer.
No, it didn't. It took me. It actually was quicker for me. It took me 3 hours to get to level 8 in the beta, and it took me an hour and a half to get to level 8 in the full release. So,
I thought you meant 20.
No. To get to 20, yeah, of course it takes a little longer, but that's all the way to level 20. which is, again, it's no. But you know, like coming from like a heavy RPG background and stuff, you know, well, I say that like I played them all, but I haven't. But like typically, like when you get to the end of one and you hit that max level, like there's a little bit of end game content, but usually the game just kind of dies after that, and you're like, well, that was fun, time to move on to the next one. Or you make a new character and you get your next character up to the max level until you get bored of the game. But Destiny has actually gone about it in such a way to where I feel like they've actually given you incentive to where even if you hit that level cap, you still want to play. They have added this like top level tier stuff to where it's almost like an addiction because you're like, I am level 20, but I have to fight stuff that's like level 22 in order to get, you know, good stuff that might help me be able to fight stuff that's level 24. Because, like, dude, the stuff goes all the way up to, I've seen stuff as high as level 28, and I'm sure there's stuff out there that's higher than that.
Goes to 30.
See, yeah. So, I mean, like, there's that need to like, I wanna beat everything. Like, I wanna be able to fight everything and not be able to shrink away from anything. And I think Destiny has done a really good job at making you feel like the proverbial badass that, you know, every RPG tries to go for. And they've done it in such a way to where the game is still balanced. You know, like the PvP, it could use some tweaks, but for the most part, it actually plays out pretty good. You know, I was ragging on it a little bit in a video when we only got to level 8, and I was like, you know, some of these classes are broken and definitely need to be fixed.
The Titan's really good in Crucible now.
Yeah. Which the Titan's actually good in Crucible. The Hunter isn't as broken, overpowered. The Warlock is still. Well, we just won't go there. Warlock. I mean, okay. So, like I said, there's still some tweaks that need to be made. You know.
So why are they reviewing it negatively then? What's in your opinion?
I haven't read their review, so I don't know what their issue is with it. I mean, you said you read it.
I've seen people saying it's boring.
They're mostly talking about how it's repetitive and how they felt like wasn't. I think they set their expectations really high, and they're like, well, they didn't meet our expectations, so low score.
All right, so there is some stuff that's repetitive in it. Yeah, I'll give them that. Particularly in regards to what they call a bounty system, which is basically like contracts from every other video game you've ever played, where you're like, yes, I will do this, and the contract is like, while you're playing, kill this many of this kind of bad guy, or get a couple headshots, get 100 headshots without dying. Like that tends to be how these contracts play out. And yeah, sure, that part of it can be a little bit repetitive because there's only so many contracts that they can dole out to you.
Right, contracts are always repetitive.
Yeah,
that's the work of video games. Basically.
Yeah, that's kind of like yeah, I get that. That's going to be a little bit repetitive. Excuse me. But I feel like if you play through on the story is very unique. Even though it's a little bit over the top, black versus white to me, I don't like a lot of I personally have something against any kind of story or campaign where it's good guys versus bad guys. Like, there's no such thing. You can go out anywhere. There's no such thing as good guys and bad guys. It's all different shades of gray, and just who is a little bit darker shade of gray, or who's a little bit lighter shade of gray, or whatever.
Right.
And the campaign is very much black and white, which not a huge fan. But other than that, it's still a very unique story. It's something that I haven't experienced before, personally. They have a way of tying it in to where there's all these different factions that are against you, but they're also against each other as well, even though they're all on the black side of things, which again is not something that's all too common. I don't understand where it would become repetitive, unless maybe they're just saying that playing the PvP is repetitive, or the contracts are repetitive. But you play PvP. We've talked about Battlefield 4. You play on the same maps. Yeah. After a while,
it gets repetitive.
Yeah,
I think the other thing that I heard a lot of was folks are waiting for the game to wow them, and it never really does. And I don't really know what that interpretation is supposed to mean on their part. Like,
Yeah,
what would wow you? I kind of worry that expectations for
A
games
good launch
are
and
just
it had
unreasonable.
that.
to me that kind of leaves me just with the mindset of, well, what were you expecting? You know, to me, I went into it honestly with a rather negative view. I was like, yeah, this game, I'm gonna play it because I'm getting a little bored with Battlefield. But
Right, you're gonna see the people say it's too repetitive. I'm gonna go play CS:GO.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So I mean,
Well, every game's different, Kulprit. You see, you never know where the terrorists are going to go.
right?
Yeah, I don't.
I'll wear
I
a
don't
different hat.
understand.
Team Fortress.
And you talk about, well, it under-delivered, or it wasn't. Oh, there was no wow moments. You know, all right, like there's been some wow moments in Battlefield 4. I mean, we've all seen some. What is it, Pony Lion, in some of his videos.
Don't watch it.
Really?
No, I'm only playing.
I'm just saying, like, there's some wow moments in there. But, like, all right, let's look at CS:GO, prime example. When was the last wow moment you had in
That's
there?
my
Like,
point,
maybe you got a clutch, like a 5v1 clutch. All
That's up to you.
right, you know.
My wow moment for CS:GO was like, wow, they're still using the same engine after all this time.
Right. And the maps and it. So that's what I mean. Like that game is built on like it strives for repeatability. So that's not necessarily a death blow. But I think just as a total spectator, as I have no horse in this race, I like the repeatability. I think these are all valid arguments in any game. But the fact they're coming up a week after release, like how did these people get to that point so quickly? Is my concern. Like for me, because you got to understand, for me to play this game, I got to go put down $500. So that's what this game was supposed to do, though. It was supposed to make guys like me go and put down $500. So whether fair or not, that's what they were trying, because they put $500 million into advertising. So this was not about getting the guys that are already on consoles. So like I just don't understand how they sat down at a strategy meeting and it was okay for people to hit. I know it's not a hard cap, but why isn't there more content? Like more.
We'll see. Okay, and this is again. It's going back to.
I'm asking you to explain it to me. Is where I'm coming at.
This is again. It kind of where I came in pessimistically, and where Bungie has kind of. I think they're going in the right direction because they've learned from their previous titles, Halo, obviously, where they're coming out with a what's the right term? Like a delayed release, basically, where they're giving you content, and you're going to get content. We're getting content, like they just released a news story today on, like we're getting...
I was going to ask you about this whole...
there's going to be a PvP event that's coming up. There's going to be a new story mission that's going to unlock in a couple weeks, I think it is. And, like, they're filtering out content, but they're doing it in this kind of, like, time release, which, in my opinion, is honestly probably the better way to go about
it. It's like
it.
a campaign, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's a way of keeping the game relevant. And, like, if you played the hell out of it and you've already beaten everything and you're already bored with it, you've blown through a lot of content. Like, there has been a good bit of content that you've already blown through. And I'd be willing to wager that that these people who are bored of the game haven't earned...
Gone outside?
Well, they haven't earned some of the higher level content. Yeah, that too, probably. One of the things, well, I'm just saying, one of the things that I noticed, okay, let's put it to you this way. You can purchase items in the game that can consist of really high quality, they call them legendary weapons. These legendary weapons tend to cost, for the sake of trying to explain it, the currency is marks. And they'll cost about 115, 120, 150 marks per item, and you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different items. So you figure we're up to roundabouts 900, 1,000 marks total. The most you can earn in a given week is 100 marks. Like, they have a cap on it to where you cannot earn more than 100 marks in a week. And that they also earn rather slowly. Like, I think it takes about
3 for a win, 2 for a loss.
Yeah, and that's over the course of what, like 20 minutes? Would you say 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's slow. It's really slow.
It's rather slow, and on top of that, if you cap out and get 100 because you have no life and you've played that much, you still can't buy the items because they cost more than 100. So, like, again, I don't know how these people are getting bored. The game hasn't been out long enough to even buy this stuff. How do you get bored? I don't. Please explain.
I think.
Well, they're reviewers and they have to make their decisions within 2 weeks. So
Yeah, well, they have to have something to say, right? I mean, they have to have
hey, it's even we see this behavior on YouTube where it's first to publish wins the Ranku bucks.
Doesn't matter if you're right or even an intelligent review. I think here's my concern, and I'm not. This isn't a critique or anything. This is me as a guy who's seriously considering taking that plunge. Is that first of all, I'm not looking for PvP. If I'm going from PC to a console, I'm not looking for the high-end PvP. So I'm looking for a story. I'm looking for content. I'm looking for epic campaign. So it sounds like some of that's there. I have concerns of value. If I said, all right, so maybe I don't do it in a week, but maybe I do it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'm at the cap, and I just wonder why. They had to know this was going to happen. I guess is my point. And
I think they did, and I do kind of feel like maybe they probably should have had a better backup plan. And I don't think it would have been that hard to just increase the level cap.
That's what. Well, I was going to ask eventually. Do you think they're going to say, okay, 6 months from now, 20 to 30,
I think definitely for sure. Like when we start getting DLCs, I would almost willing to put money on it that the level cap will get raised.
Well, I think now it definitely will. Now that they've seen the reaction, I think that suddenly they're probably scrambling to do something on those lines. But I don't know if that was the original plan or not. But
you're always, no matter how high you put the level cap, you're always going to have people that are like, I hit the level cap. This game's so easy.
Yeah, people will always hit it. There's only been 2 games that I've ever played that I didn't hit level cap that were RPGs that had levels. One of those was Defiance, and that's because I kind of lost interest in it before I hit level cap because there wasn't. So that's one of those things is like you have to have content to keep the level relevant, and that was one of those games where the content actually didn't keep up with the level. Like you could keep leveling and getting stronger and stronger, but the content stopped way before.
Sure, that's the problem. Yeah,
you met level cap. Which this game they did a really good job at making sure that the content goes all the way through and beyond level cap. It goes way beyond level cap. And then the other game that I never hit the level cap on was a game called Repels, which is actually a Korean import. And I think part of the reason why I never hit level cap is because it was a Korean import.
Prepare for grind.
Well, yeah, it was a really grindy game. And actually, I saw on a website while I was playing it, and it was about the time that I stopped playing, that in order to hit the level cap, that you'd have to invest. It was like some 3,000 game hours of nonstop grinding, and I was like, no, I'm done.
I've only played a fifth of that in Battlefield 4 already. That feels like a lot.
On that note, I uninstall and move on with my life.
So let's talk, and Notable, I'll go to you on this one. How viable is PvP? Is this something you see yourself playing in 6 months, putting 200 hours into? I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know, you tell me where casual is semi. I mean,
I personally love the PvP.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do get angry at it because it does have a lot of cheap deaths. Like there's rocket launches, all your supers are almost guaranteed kills. There's lots of ways that you can just get easy kills, but there's also a way that skill comes into it. Like you have your assault rifles, but then you have your scout rifles, which are basically DMRs that are like 3-shot headshots. So obviously, if you're good at aiming, you'd always drop the people, but I don't know, it's hard. A lot of people don't like it just because there are those cheap deaths, and you really do have to respect a lot of the abilities and weapons because you'll get yourself killed so easily. It's actually a lot more difficult to learn than you would think. When I first went into it, I thought, it's just going to be like Halo, you just jump in and shoot people, but it's got a bit of a learning curve to it, and I find it really enjoyable.
It's got a lot of metagame to it too.
I was gonna say, is the meta not even been figured out yet? Largely,
yeah. There's a lot of metagame to it too. Sure. In fact, when we were playing, me and Aardvark were playing. We didn't play PvP, but he has rolled one of his characters. He's designed to be a support role, and like just the way we were going through the PvE content, I was thinking, man, in PvP, if you were communicating, this could be like some really beast mode stuff.
Yeah, why'd you think I did it?
Yeah. My big concern, and Aardvark could probably be the better one to talk on this because I don't know if any of the community has organized in it or anything, is I actually really worry that there's going to be absolutely no sign of competitive for this game, with the primary reason being no private servers. Which, I feel like, come on, a game that came out in 2014 that's multiplayer, that doesn't have private servers.
A huge company, yeah.
At this point, like, really?
It's Activision. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Well, your marketing budget was $500 million, and you couldn't give people private.
Don't have money for private service.
Yeah, it's hard to take anything serious. We ran out of time. No, you don't get that when you.
We ran out of money. We spent it all of the money we spent.
Live action, freaking. Yeah,
it was pretty cool to watch, though. Come on, that live action was cool.
It wasn't necessary at that point. People were already jizzing their pants and ready to go. So I just think it's funny, yeah. But I mean, I saw Chad. It was Pun and a couple guys going back. I don't. Maybe Darth, you can speak this a little bit, but like, you design a game on PC, and I just want to get salty, and it's going to lead to our next topic. You clearly build the game on PC. Largely, the new platforms are. There's so much synergy now with PC. Why are they not pushing it on PC as well? Because you're talking about competitive and things. It's so much easier to do competitive on a PC platform because you don't have issues like the private lobbies and things. But it seems fabricated. This fake wall that they're building up, and I don't quite understand it.
Well, PC is ultimately a different platform, so it requires just as much to put it on that as
more support to, I suppose.
And
yeah.
it's Bungie.
Right. It's a different interface, so it's dedicated time you have to spend to it, and they might have anticipated that we just don't see the market that's going to pull this up on PC and say, I want to play Destiny as much as they thought they would be on console, because Halo has always been the console thing. And
do you think it's kind of one of these things of like, well, maybe we can't compete on an open market, whereas on PS4 there's no other game like this right now.
Yeah,
and there's
could be a lot of that.
You know, I mean, which is not. It's a viable strategy, obviously, but
the fact that there's so many RPGs
it's a captive audience
on
almost.
console.
Yeah.
On console, sorry.
Call it a conspiracy theory if you want, but I actually think there perhaps was some backroom talks between Sony and Microsoft about Destiny. I feel like there was perhaps an agreement made with the guys over at Bungie to keep this game off of PC in an effort to try and sell more consoles, to try and get more consoles off shelves. I think that is purely a power play. I mean, I understand, okay, it'll take more resources to develop a PC version. It'll take more money, and are we going to make it back? With a game studio like Bungie, developing the game and hiring the talent to develop the game, I don't think is really an issue. They know what they're doing. Even if it is a new interface, I think that they should be able to more than adequately get a
They've got to have an
team
interface
together.
Around, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You bring up a good point about the Sony thing, because companies will give you a lot of resources.
Yeah, I don't see them colluding,
even if it's not just
but
straight up money, where it's please put this on our system, we will make it worth your while.
Yeah,
like they will treat you like gods, basically.
It's business.
That makes it even more interesting though, because then they've seemingly dropped the ball, because this was a game I was clearly considering that for, and now I'm stepping back. You know, I'm not walking away, but I'm not frothing at the mouth anymore. You know, I'm kind of like, okay.
But is it the loud minority though? Because
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I think it is, because it's personally
to me,
really
it's fun. Yeah.
But see, like I don't, and this, my barometer largely at this point is probably narrow, but it's content. Like I don't see YouTube content, don't see much streaming of it. And
I
that
think
could be a console thing too. But I'm curious. Like it seems to have lost its hype already. It's fizzled out, whether you want to admit that or not.
Part of it definitely has to do because of it's on consoles. Like in particular, it's harder for consoles to get that kind of footage onto YouTube. But I think another part of it too is just there's not really a lot that you can show people. I mean, the PvP stuff is just kind of like any other PvP. If people find that interesting, sure. I'm not very good at it. You know, on average, you know, like Battlefield 4 and Halo games up until now, I've been able to hold down at least above a 1.0, usually like a 1.2, 1.3 KD. I'm not going to be posting any PvP content from Destiny though, because I can barely hold down a 0.5, dude. Nobody wants to watch somebody die that much. It's just not a thing, you know. I'm not very good at it.
I think you're onto something. Like, I think there's certain games that just don't translate onto that. Like, there's certain games I will watch Let's Plays of twice. You know, like the same Let's Play. But I've watched this game. I watched some streaming the first couple nights. it doesn't translate very well to me. It's not riveting. It's not. I don't know why that is. It's just some games. Titanfall was one that to me that like couldn't watch that game. Just couldn't. This is different. I'm not saying like that game was just flat out boring to me. That was repetitive. The game was more fun to play. That's arguable. You know, it's another podcast. This game, it just like you're saying. I guess it's just in the kind of. It just doesn't show well, I guess, and I think that's a lot of the way, and that's a lot of what rules the sales these days. I mean, at least I like to think so, but it's weird. I've never seen a game so hyped, seemingly fizzle that hype so quickly, and it's weird. I'm not saying
so.
You know,
in my experience, RPGs are kind of hard to show other players how awesome they are because it's very much an experience thing. It's very much about the journey and not so much the moment to moment. Like, oh my gosh, I'm having COD moments all over my face.
And you don't know how good this item is if you haven't gotten to it, grinded to it.
Yeah, there's a grind to it. There's a romantic investment into it. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think another thing too, as far as content goes, is like usually, like you as a somebody who doesn't play the game, when you watch the content, you're gonna watch like in your head, you're thinking, all right, I want to watch somebody who's really skilled at this game, go at it, and you know, like just tear things up. And I think honestly, when it comes to RPGs, that type of video typically isn't the more popular kind. The more popular kind of RPG YouTube videos that you at least that I have noticed are out there are ones that kind of guide people on like, all right, you guys, this is a build that I found for your character, and if you spec your guy this way, you'll be able to do this, and then you can kind of combo up like this, and this, you know. And when you start talking like that, you know, like I could actually use these terms and you know, start talking about how I will use my void bomb and chain.
You're only talking to other players.
Yeah, I'm only talking to other people that have played the game. And if you've never played that game, I could even be showing you content. You're going to be checking out.
There's no appreciation for it. Well, that's like when I watched. I mean, I'll just tell you immediately what jumped to mind for me. Borderlands 2 mixed with like Diablo, where you just run in, you just kill everything. And it's like after you watch it for 10 minutes, it's the same way with Borderlands 2. Because I even put content up of Borderlands 2. The first videos were great, and it quickly trailed off. If you watch the time watched, it was just a nosedive. It's mindless to watch, and it's just, for a viewer, it's the same thing over and over. They don't even get that sense of, like, I'm going to go Borderlands 2. I don't know if it's like when you get a good item. Like, they don't get anything in that. They're not invested in it. So... Like,
right, for your character moment, that's like, oh, hey, this means a lot to me. This is an interesting decision I have to make now.
Borderlands is all about items, you know, so they lost a lot of value there. But yeah, to me, it was just like kill everything in a room, move to the next room, kill everything in a room, move. So it was, in that sense, it wasn't engaging to watch, but I could see how that would be fun to just play, because Borderlands to me was fun in that way. And I didn't play Diablo, but obviously a lot of people do, and it's just weird, you know.
Answering a quick comment that was in the our comment section, Vale brings up, he says that he thinks that the more popular videos of RPG to watch were the people that were at the highest level soloing dungeon bosses. While I will agree that sometimes that was kind of fun to watch in like World of Warcraft or something, legit, I kid you not, Vale, I have soloed some of these dungeon bosses, and because my party dropped out, and it's a 3-hour experience, dude. It's not somebody's not going to sit down and watch a 3-hour video. I mean, that's how long it takes if you're trying to solo these guys.
You're talking about Destiny now, or are you talking back?
Yeah, in Destiny. In Destiny, if your guys drop out and you don't drop out with them, and you're like, screw it, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna fight these bosses all by myself.
Then you're gonna cry.
Yeah, you're gonna cry about it. And like I said, I actually did it during the beta. I haven't done it since because if everyone else quits out, I recall my experience from the beta and go, nope, I'm out.
I haven't done the 28 Impossible mission yet. You wait.
So then,
I haven't even gotten there.
Neither of you guys are upset with your purchase, clearly. It's the one you've been playing a lot. Would you recommend it? Let's just, I mean, I feel like you would. I'm for clarity.
I would recommend it. You know, I have my whole "Is it worth it?" YouTube series, and I with the philosophy I've always had when I came up with that series was I feel like the screw rating systems. The answer is either yes, it's worth it, or no, it's not. Sure. But I feel like there always needs to be a stipulation when you tell somebody yes, it's worth it, or no, it's not. And well, a few stipulations. That's one, price point. Is it worth the money that you're paying? And then the second thing is does it suit you as a personal? Does it suit your personal gaming style? And I feel like, would I recommend it to both of you guys who don't have it? I would. Now, would I recommend it if like you were going to go buy a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One and just this game? I would not recommend that to you. This game is not worth that much money.
Well, I don't think any singular game is right now. I mean, to be fair to Destiny, yeah, I mean, I think I'd be all over this if it was on PC right now. I'd be playing it. Clearly, I'd be streaming it, content. Sure, I'd be all about it. Or if I had already had a PS4 or whatever. So to me, yeah, the barrier of entry is the console. But that's no mystery. That's what this game was supposed to do to the suits, the guys that put all that money out. So, you know, I mean, we're gonna get back to the next gens don't have the library of games right now. That's just really the problem there. But I'm still considering it, but I'm not as close as I was a week ago. Let me put it that way.
Right.
You know, I don't really let other people tell me what to do as far as games are. It's just
I think. All right. Ultimate answer: is it worth it? Yes. Is it worth Is it worth the $90 version? Probably not. Is it worth the $60 version? Yes, I'd go with that. Is it worth buying a console? Not if that's the only game you're going to get it for.
You gotta have other interests.
You should have at least 2 or 3 other interests.
Like for me, I want to play Last of Us, obviously. And
yeah. See, like
a small library is coming together now, where there's going to be a value point there for me that I'm like, okay. You know, let's do it.
Right.
So, you know, it's a matter of time. It's not really. It's just, yeah. This one, I guess that's what it is.
You can get the Xbox for an entertainment system.
You know, honestly, I am an Xbox guy. I'm sure everyone is well aware of this. But whenever a PC guy, and we can save this entire subject for another podcast, but I will summarize it as quickly as I can. Whenever a PC gamer asks me, would I recommend an Xbox? Honestly, I'm going to say no, because most of the games that we have on Xbox, you guys have. Yeah, if you want a truly unique gaming experience, go with the PlayStation. Not because of the better graphics.
Complementary gaming, yeah.
Because, I mean, your PC obviously has way better graphics than both systems combined. But just because, yeah, like you said, it's a good combo. It's got a lot of single-player games.
I think that's valid, sure.
That nobody else has, which Sony has always done well. They've done single-player games really well. That's just not what I play, which is why I didn't get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to hit these last couple ones. We're getting close there, so I knew that was going to happen. I want to move on to I don't know, GTA being delayed. At least on PC, it's delayed again. I don't know if it's really even delayed. I don't know the dates. What is the date? It's January, end of January, right? They're saying 27th.
They're actually missing the 2017.
Yeah, and the next gen PS4, Xbox One is November 27th, something like that. Let's just say mid-November, mid-January. Is that right? I might have to look it up again. I should have put the dates. I didn't think I would forget.
That surprises me that they would skip the holiday season.
Well, and still no heists. So
you know what? With how long I've been waiting. Yeah, trademark. With how long I've been waiting on heists. I've given up on it. You know, they can say any date they want, and I don't believe them anymore. Rockstar has lost their credibility in my eyes as far as release dates.
Where I'm at. Like I said, I was all about. Like I bought this on PlayStation 3, and I played it for a little while, and I stopped. I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this, but it's kind of getting to that grindy point. I'm like, I'm gonna wait because I've spoken to you guys. I don't like the gunplay in the game. It just frustrated me. So I was like, I was waiting for PC. I'll play it on there. And it was part of being a YouTuber streamer. I was like, I'd rather go through the story the first time when I could share it.
Yeah, genuine.
Didn't think it was going to be a year, you know, or might end up being more, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm just like this is obscene. Like I understand you wanna push the PC off to kind of funnel people, but even like the old gen to the next gen, I don't understand what they're doing. I really don't. They're milking the hell out of a game, but I'm just like, now it might be off my radar. Now it's gonna be like meh, you know, like when it's here, think about it. But now there has to, it's kind of like the DayZ syndrome, which you guys aren't really too familiar with. It's like you take so long, people are gonna expect so much more now. Now they're not gonna be happy with just kind of enhancements. Yeah. They're gonna want new features.
So
especially features you've been promising for a long time. So
the funniest bloatware I ever saw was Duke Nukem Forever. Waited 10 years for that, and there was no game they could deliver that would have ever lived up to that development time.
They should have
not released it. Delivered a stinky turd. That's
yeah. It's like I don't understand. Like I think they're missing a huge opportunity here. There must be some issues. Clearly, there's issues with Heists, but I don't understand why you're pushing things even more. I guess they think they can get PC guys to buy console versions or so. I don't know. I don't get it. So it was just like you said. It was depressing. You're kind of let down. You're just kind of like, really, like.
Come on, Rockstar, really?
I just your development time here. Like they had all hands on deck for getting GTA out the door. I think they had every one of their studios working on that, and that probably burned some folks that were working there.
Well, and it shows. I mean, it was a great game. It is a great game, but it's just kind of like, why don't you just call it GTA 6 at this point and just wait another year, and then do it on everything? I don't understand why.
You know what I think my biggest issue is right now is that their team and whoever is managing these teams and devoting resources to, or making the decision to devote resources to their various allocations it makes me sad. We were promised heists for GTA 5. Day one, before day one, like that was the thing. Like they were like, oh yeah, you'll have heists in GTA Online, and then it got pushed back, and it got pushed back, and it got pushed back, and on and on and on and on and on. We still don't even have any definite answer. We still get the soon trademark, and now they're pushing back the PC release, and at the same time, as if that wasn't enough of a spit in the face to everybody, they're still pushing out other content.
Yeah.
They just released a new DLC that added new flight tutorial missions where you can fly around in a plane in different places now, and through different golden hoops. And it's like, what are you doing with your dev team? For real?
They wanted to give you the Superman 64 experience.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just as annoyed as I am as a PC guy, I'm not really that surprised by this, honestly. I kind of saw this coming, but I just didn't think it was gonna be this long. But to me, the heist is just the craziness. You guys are literally promised that. It's just, I don't know. It's I just feel like they had this great game and they've just fumbled the ball all over the place since release. So it's sad. Like I said, it's sad. I don't know. Maybe I'll fire up the old PlayStation 3 and play a little. I don't know. I probably won't now because I'm so bitter.
I hate you.
On another bitter note, and this is another one I think you too. I don't know where you stand as Microsoft to buy Mojang for two Bs for a whole pile.
Wow, Microsoft finally got to buy somebody they wanted to buy. This is amazing.
Get everyone else's opinion on this first.
I read very briefly about this today. It was actually kind of surprising when you mentioned it. Apparently, they approached Microsoft.
Not they. He approached Microsoft.
So
who he has scorned publicly many.
Ultimately,
many
it seems
times.
like the goal of every company is eventually to get bought by somebody with a lot of money, and that may just be the case here.
I'll be fair to him. I don't think that was his intention when he started. I think to make money was his intention. I don't think he was doing the startup flips.
He's making it now.
That's what I mean, and I get it. I said he's a humongous hypocrite, but he's a filthy rich hypocrite. Come on, guys, who's gonna walk away from $2 billion? Nobody's gonna. They can drive Minecraft into the ground, and he could still do more good with his life with that money. So there's obviously the realistic view, but I still hate it. And,
so I guess without reading anything about this, the thing that Microsoft can bring to the table for Mojang is being able to broaden their brand and give them a lot more exposure than they have now. It's basically just Big Brother.
What they're going to bring is Minecraft 2.
That's what they'll end up. Well, we'll see if the typical mix management.
Minecraft 2 confirmed right here, right now. It's got to happen for $2 billion. It has to happen. What I thought was funny is some of his tweets, because everybody's waiting for Notch. He's so opinionated and outspoken, so to speak. And he said his tweet was to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing. It's like, "Yep, that's my price. $2 billion is my price. You pay me $2 billion, I will endorse your company." And there's part of me that was like, you know what? At least you're not hiding. At least you're not trying to rationalize it. You're just like, I got paid. And like I said, I think if anybody wants to be on their soapbox and spout, again, I hate this, and I think he's a hypocrite and all these things. But I'm just saying, I get it. Who wouldn't get it? Just here's my thing. Just shut up now. Just go away and hide and stop being this pundit that is this evangelist for the gaming industry. Just shut up and just go away. You're not better than anybody else. You're not.
I figured it out.
Just go.
Microsoft is tired of having Minesweeper always installed on Windows, so now they have Minecraft installed on all Windows
So start
copies.
selling hats and crates and things in Minecraft.
There you go.
And make money. All right, Aardvark, what do you got? Because the puppy wants his own. He wants his platform. So
I have no idea what to think of this. What's gonna come of? Do Mojang even have any other games in Minecraft?
Scrolls. And
Scrolls?
There's some 10x0 10xx game that never got
I
released.
just don't know where this can go, to be honest.
No,
I have
it's a
idea.
weird buy from Microsoft. But I don't know. It's a weird way that Mojang ran Minecraft too, because they're not generating new revenue aside from, they just had the new consoles come. That's obviously a big revenue stream there, but that's going to be tapped out in the near. It's weird. It's like I said, it's Minecraft 2. It's happening. There's no doubt about it.
Minecraft 2 confirmed.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
So when's it coming out?
Probably as soon as possible. Stockholders are going to want to see some return on that $2 billion. So, I don't know. It could mean good things in the way that you're going to get another notch game, but I think he's checked out. I think he's
at this point he can just. I wonder what kind of clause they have in there for you're not allowed to leave the company. For a year.
He's said he's leaving.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then
he's going to handle the transfer.
Ching, see you, suckers.
This is why Puppy,
Straight to the bank.
I kind of, let's be honest, he's been off of Minecraft for a while now. I don't know how much you guys are on it. He's been checked out on Minecraft for a while.
He's been hands off for over a year now.
He lost the fire of it. He obviously, it was his life for however many years he developed it. And he did, God bless him, he did a great job. It's one of the influential games in my life, for me anyway. So he's been one foot out the door anyway. I almost feel like he was running Mojang to help his the people around him, and that's, I think he tried to do right by them. I really do, but I think he just got to the point where he's going to work every day and being like, "What am I doing?" And I think it showed in his work, because the games he's tinkered around with haven't been so hot. I think he was just like, "I want out," and he wants clearly, I think, to do something else. I have no idea what that is. So he's like, I'm going to sell out for a buttload of money. That's, and he clearly, that was his intention, to sell out for the most money, because that's why he went to someone like Microsoft, who he has despised publicly for a long time now. So he sold out. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. He's admitted to it. I don't know. I just think it's funny. It's entertaining. And I mean, I hope it doesn't ruin the game. So,
all right.
Puppy, what do you got?
All right.
Step back.
First off, to the man. All right, $2 billion being your price. I understand. I get it.
It's my price too, actually.
If somebody dropped $2 billion in my lap, you'd be dang right. I'd ditch every friend I ever had, and which is basically what he's doing, relatively speaking. Giving it to Microsoft, though, that's where I'm like,
oh, he's screwing the players. That's
as a person who loves the hell out of this game, I just watched this man drive a $2 billion nail into a coffin.
Very viable. Very viable.
Okay, so let's go over my reasoning here. Microsoft picks up Minecraft, or they work with 4J Studios, which is not Mojang, but they work in conjunction. 4J Studios works with Mojang, who also works with Microsoft. And now Sony, to get the a version of the game over to console. If you're playing on that console, the game is more expensive. I believe it's $10 more expensive per purchase, unless you've already purchased previous versions, in which case they will be oh so nice to you for having already bought their game, and they will let you buy it again for $5. Okay. On top of that, for those of you who play on PC, one of the cool things to do, maybe you didn't get it all the way into it and go create your own Minecraft skin, but just about everyone has gone on the internet who plays Minecraft on PC and will search through the skins and look for one that, oh yeah, that one looks good. I like that one. I want me in this video game. I don't know if you know this, but you can do this on console for the low price of $6.
Wow, really?
For 5 skins. Wow. You get, so you're talking over $1 per skin.
Probably only want one in that pack as well.
And yeah, you probably only want one.
Yeah, well, that's how they do it. They make you buy bundles, yeah. See, I
So that's no, we're not.
I'm not. I know better. I know better.
Texture packs. That's one of the cool
Texture
things about
packs in
Minecraft. You can
Next
make your own texture pack, right? You can change the game. You got people out there that go with the ultra realistic HD. They cram, what is it, like 512 pixels into a spot that normally has
There's
16.
HD Minecraft.
Yeah, HD blocks. All
can't do
right.
this thing on.
You know, you got the shaders and stuff like that. Well, shaders isn't a thing, but okay, you get texture packs, right? And you're like, oh, that's really cool. Guess what Microsoft did with it? $5 a pop, baby. They're charging for texture packs, and they're texture packs that other people made.
That's So they're just downloading them and
Yes. It's like, oh man, this guy that made the John Smith texture pack, one of the most popular texture packs out there, did really good. Let's charge people $5 for it. What?
I wonder how much he's
I
getting.
assume that they have some kind of deal with the original creator.
Oh, I'm sure, because
Well, this
there's
is
licensing
really
all
smart,
over this.
though,
But
because I know that Valve does the same thing with
basically,
Team Fortress,
It's the marketplace,
Dota, where they'll just sort of take community creations and say, we'll sell that, and you get a cut of it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of the burden of content creation off their hands, which is kind of nice.
I'm sure it is
Just
nice
waiting
for
for them to
them.
do this for maps.
But
and
as a
shooters.
player, it breaks my heart because, like, to me, Minecraft was to video games what Linux was to operating systems. It was like the forefront, like, screw you, our game is cheap as hell, and it's super fun. You know,
And we'll never charge you again for this game. Like,
yeah, and we'll never charge you again. We'll give you all this content. They're still slapping
I
content.
know, it's
out
crazy.
there.
Like, to me, it doesn't make any business sense, frankly.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it stays in
well,
the sales
$2 billion
chart, so,
of business sense. I
yeah,
guess,
it's still selling because they run their business the way they have, and you know Microsoft's not going to do that. That's not the way Microsoft works. They just dropped $2 billion on
they
this
have to
game.
make it back.
They want to make at least $2 billion back.
Pay your wallets.
100% Minecraft.
Here comes all the Minecraft merchandising in their pocket.
Well, that's going to be a big thing too. Is that I mean, it might not seem like it, but I think they said Minecraft outside of the game is underserved. I've seen a lot of Minecraft merch around, but you're going to see a lot more Minecraft merch. You're going to see probably media. Like
what's the shirt you're wearing?
Yeah,
my son,
my 2-year-old son.
My son's actually already requested a Minecraft-themed birthday party.
There you go. See, I'd be down with that, but yeah. But now you can't do it. Now you're like, I just can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't support this.
How do I tell him no?
We had
I'm
to
sorry,
make a Minecraft cake at work,
I can't
actually.
do it.
That was really fun.
Say what now?
We had to make a Minecraft cake at work.
Yeah, see,
It was really fun.
It's a phenomenon, frankly. I mean, it really
Yeah.
is.
It's everywhere.
It's a culture almost. I mean,
and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
But now it's being monetized by Microsoft.
That's going to be the problem, though, and I think it's a little bit. Of it's been this thing that everybody can so easily get behind because it's relatively pure. Like I paid $10 for this game 40 years ago or whatever. Like, and I've never been asked for another penny.
Right.
Drop $5 in the
And
outfit.
how much content have they given you? I mean, between
hundreds of
not
hours.
not only the game content that Mojang themselves have given you,
Right.
but they opened it up to the mod community, and the mod community has gone ballistic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen some of the mods that are out there for this game, but I mean, like, I don't play them just because there's so much content in it that I just kind of look at all the content that's in these mod packs and just go, I don't know what to do.
Just look at the money some of these private
You see
servers
all
are
the
making.
item lists.
Just look at some of the money the private servers are making off the back of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many revenue streams that they've just said we're not going to do that, and I applaud them for that. And that's why you're seeing like it getting into schools and things. But that's going to change now. Minecraft 2 is going to have all these marketplaces. It's going to have Team Fortress 2 hats. It has to for that price tag. So.
I'm kind of curious to see if they make it Microsoft platform exclusive, like PC and Xbox only. Because right now they do have it on Apple devices, and I expect that's probably going to go away.
Yeah, I mean, do you?
You know
close
what?
your
You know what they
marketplace?
might do? I don't know that they'll get rid of it just because of how big of an opportunity that is, but I think what you will see is probably kind of what you're seeing with Destiny right now, where instead of Sony getting a lot of the exclusive content, it's going to be Microsoft giving themselves a lot of the exclusive content over on their platform. Mm-hmm. Just as a means of going, you could play this game over there, but if you really like it, you can have this shiny hat. You know,
Yeah, you can come play Minecraft 2 on an Xbox.
you know what it
17
probably
Or it'll
months
be
before
Minecraft
it
2
comes
will
out
be wide
on
open.
an
Minecraft
iPad.
3 would then be exclusive because they need to pay that tab first. But
you know what it probably is. I'm calling this right now. Microsoft is going to sell capes. I don't know if you're aware, but you
Sell
can
something.
get capes in the game, but you can only get capes if you attend the Minecon events, which are rather expensive to get into. And I see Microsoft going, "Oh, we'll give you a cape for money."
oh, it's gonna be
Like-
a lot more than capes. Though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be full-fledged house items, and that's how you monetize Minecraft, obviously. So my big thing is what does the team do? Because I got to imagine some of that team's getting rich too, and
Oh, I'm sure they're
I don't know if they're gonna want to be part of Microsoft. If you're working for Mojang and Notch, I think you're an anti-Microsoft kind of guy. You know,
Yeah.
like, and now you're getting paid, so your motivation isn't there for that. So if some of these important people, as a Dinnerbone or whatever the hell the guy's name is, and I don't follow them day to day, but the guys that are running Minecraft now, because Notch hasn't been for a while, he's kind of maybe been the spiritual leader, so to speak. If they start jumping ship, then that's the end of the game. If somehow Microsoft can keep the team together, at least for Minecraft 2, we could end up getting a decent game, even if we end up paying a lot for it. So I don't know. Time will tell, but it's not a good thing for anybody but Notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's. But I don't know. These people on Twitter screaming at the guy. I'm like,
You know, you can scream at them all you want, and you know I am mad about it.
yeah,
but at the same
it's okay to
time,
be mad, right?
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
You're telling the man.
$2 billion. Like, okay, I'd expect people full well to tell me, you know, if I made a video game,